All right, welcome back, Star Wars Unlimited fans. We restarted the stream. Hopefully, that makes the connection a little bit better. If you're listening to this, great job. You made it. You have officially successfully restarted the stream. If you're not listening to this, you need to refresh your browser. And I'm sure you'll know that I'm telling you to do that because you're listening. So, great job. But we're just getting underway. Looks like Han 2 has a hand he's keeping. Carlos is deciding he's keeping as well. So what do you
Yeah, and
think about the first couple of turns of this matchup, Kyle?
we got it up just in time. So I think the first couple of turns are probably some of the most crucial of the game, right? Part of the reason you're bringing a Tarkentown deck is to try to punish these Han 2 decks. So I imagine to see it a very early Tarkentown and then Yoda Killer trying hard to quickly push damage to base and take advantage of the fact that Han only has 25 HP, right?
Yeah, and I think that it's much more straightforward for Carlos, where you just target down anything that gets played on turn one and go from there. It's a lot trickier when to ECL and what to ECL in. Um,
Yeah, and here the
that's
Han
kind of
player
all
had to
the
just
world.
give him an ECL target right away too. I don't know if Carlos is going to take advantage or not, and he does. So
No, yeah,
I
you
saw
definitely
with
target down there, and I think it's probably a case from the Han player where he says, you know what, it doesn't really matter what I have on turn one. The only turn one play I have that doesn't get Tarkin Town is Gungi, and I can't hard mulligan just for that card. So I think he just liked the rest of his hand and said, good enough, I'll just give him the Tarkin Town on turn one.
Yeah, and that's really your only turn one play that kind of avoids this Tarkentown situation, right? In Han Green
Yeah,
is going to be your Gunji play.
yeah,
Okay, a good turn too though with a Sentinel. Wait, he just played Obi-Wan. Would he have Sentinel?
yeah. The Guavin has a Saboteur.
Ah, right.
It's the best turn one play for that reason and against these green hero decks because you can get around the Obi-Wan, and so Carlos is only going to miss 2 damage this turn. He's probably just not going to throw in the Reckless Gunslinger and make should be up to 3 total. Yeah.
Here we go. Got it corrected.
Hmm.
Yeah, no reason to your point to run into Gunslinger here, right? Because Obi-Wan's about to
Yeah.
lose Sentinel. Stay another force unit being played, but that's not common in these Han 2 green decks.
Yeah. What I expect to happen is the Obi-Wan just starts running into units and gets killed the old-fashioned way. Um, we may see a Typho come down as obviously a really good turn one play, and you want to play Typho in this matchup when there are other units around because the you don't want Forlom to just be able to murder the Typho, so you need another unit around to be able to soak up the CAD ping so that Typho doesn't just die to a Forlom. So
Yep,
if
that's
you have
good.
one, you play it now.
Yep, good point. If you are going to attack with Obi-Wan, where do you go? Probably into the Saboteur,
Yeah,
also to
one of the
collect the bounty.
Yeah, you get to draw a card. And then it's interesting from Carlos if he just goes base, or he can actually kill Obi-Wan just with a Boba Fett on attack trigger, so he leaves a healthy Boba Fett behind. Um, yeah, he does go for that. So the big punish here is if there's another Obi-Wan, but oh yeah, we see the Queen Amidala with 2 damage, so just pumping the board. And now it's another tough choice from Carlos. I think I just take out a spy here because the spy trade is going to trade with your gunslinger anyway. But we'll have to see what he goes for.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree with that play. I think you're
I
playing a
like that.
little bit more control-y at this
Mhm.
point. Trying to keep advantage of things. I think that does play into Han's favor, though, forcing Carlos to play more of a control to begin the game. Extending the game is going to be better for Han.
Yeah, I think both players are kind of okay with how this is playing out right now. The question is going to be, can Han have a crazy flip turn where he gets to use the ability several times, really flood the board, and go too wide for Carlos to handle? Can Carlos control the board enough that when he flips CAD, that can end the game with, a sudden ferocity and plus something else?
And that cat flip can get very explosive, right, on
Oh,
six
this is a
resources
clean
with this
answer to
those.
the queen completely. So McClunky kills the last spy, and then the CAD ping kills the queen because it already had 2 damage on it. Din perfectly spends his resources on the follow up, even getting the 1 extra ping to base. So that turn, that was about the best turn Carlos could have had.
Yeah, and that's part of the advantage of playing it's not quite the same as the old CAD weenies, but being able to fill
Mhm.
in your curve with these one drops to really spread a board is
Yeah.
effective here.
And most of them are underworld too, which really helps. The reckless gunslinger is such a versatile card. You resource it, get the last point of damage in against the data vault deck, Or just do this and push a couple of damage, play a 2-1, and still get your pings off.
And so far early, so far so good for Carlos, which is important
Yeah.
because as we talked about, maybe not everybody heard at the beginning of the stream, is that Carlos was assessed a loss for a deck list error. So we are on
Hmm.
game 2 with our Han player up 1-0.
Yeah. And like we said, like we assumed, I think that Carlos, so far from what I've seen, has done a really good job of mentally resetting. It's something that I was talking about earlier. It's what I fully expect from him. He's a really good player. Tough choices.
Slinger. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah. So he's
here
just
comes the
playing Wrecker
Wrecker.
with the Han ability. So now he's down to 4 resources. Obviously, you
Mhm.
can't ECL and do the Han ability at the same time. So the Wrecker has 2 damage on him from the Han. And now Zuckus plus a CAD ping. Wouldn't be surprised if Han just claims here. He might be worried about the damage on his base and want to kill this Zuckus. Because all Han can do is kill the Reckless Gunslinger or get 3 to base.
Yeah, and Cad is ahead on damage here too. I would be afraid
Mhm.
to take a Zuckus to the base if he chooses to swing here. I could see Carlos claiming and taking an immediate 6 damage.
Yeah, it could also be 8 or 9 with either Blaster or a Surprise Strike. Wouldn't be surprised to just see that damage get in. And then going into the flip turn where you're worried about even more damage coming in. And same thing here where Carlos might just claim so that he gets in the Zuckus hit. So he gives up 3 damage from Aura Sing to get 6 damage or more with Zuckus.
Yeah, and I think that's what I would
Yeah,
be
that's what
doing.
we
And it
do.
looks like he agrees, right? So
Yeah.
to your point, if we have a blaster or something going on here, if Zuckus hits for 8 or 9, you're getting pretty close towards ending this game after the Cad flip.
Yeah, and if there is a blaster, I would expect it to go on the CAD, not on the Zuckus. So I would expect Zuckus to just hit for 6. The question is, how much is CAD going to hit for? So the worst case scenario for Han here is you see 6 for Zuckus. You have to try to clear the board. Other things attack, then CAD flips Sudden Ferocity into Blaster for 9.
Yeah, ECL not used. So if a CAD were to flip, what are our answers, right? I suppose it's
Oh, and
Poe
another Wrecker are the
or
only
another
ones I can
Wrecker.
think of. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, actually, it can't be another Wrecker because he's only at 5 resources because he destroyed a resource last turn with the Wrecker. So it can only be Poe.
Yep. Good point. So I'm very much expecting to see a Zuckus to the base right away. He's deliberating,
Yeah.
taking his time, which as he should. We're in the top 8 of a PQ.
Yeah, absolutely. Because also, if Han 2 thinks he can, oh wow, interesting. So he doesn't go to the
Oh.
base; he goes to kill the Han. So I was gonna say, if Han thinks he can win the race, he could Wrecker over the Reckless Gunslinger and still deal 6 to base.
Mhm.
But
Well, that's an
yeah,
interesting call, because the Zuckus still has to be dealt with. So if you think about it on the backswing, I guess suppose
yeah.
Carlos must have been concerned that there was a potential out for him to lose the race here. There,
Yeah, because I think that some of the options are that this Han 2 green deck has a lot of good 6 drops. Wrecker and Gorilla Attack Pod, and this deck specifically is playing 2 Crucibles in the main deck. So Carlos saying you're at 5, I'm turning all of those options off. So basically valuing saying I think I'm going to give you a much worse turn this turn because you don't expect me to kill your Han first action. And really interesting to see Wrecker just go to the base. I would have thought you at least take out the 2-1 and going with Sudden Ferocity plus Garandan plot. So refilling his hand basically with these extra cards. Doing the Garandan first. I'm not sure what he named, but we'll see if something gets discarded. He probably named Poe.
yeah, yep,
So I would
I
imagine there's not
agree.
going to be anything get discarded. Because
So now
also
that we
Poe
can
has
see the
2
full
hits.
hand,
He has
yeah,
the Pilot Poe and the 5-drop Poe in his deck.
okay, yeah. So we see the full hand here. He does have an ECL target with Queen Amidala potentially. Obviously the Zuckus leaving that on board is going to be a problem.
Yeah, the big thing is that Carlos knows that his CAD can't be killed because you always want to Garandan first. He hasn't played the Sudden Ferocity yet, so he would get to choose the target for it. So now that he knows that his CAD is safe for this turn, he's probably just going to Sudden Ferocity the CAD. We do see a Craving Power actually, which I didn't notice before. No, that's not it. What? Oh, it's a Bounty Hunter's Quarry. Sorry,
No, that's the
Bounty.
bounty
I
hunter's
was
quarry.
like, what is going on here? Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Bounty Hunter's Quarry is the other card there in hand. Yeah,
Which at
Craving
this
Power
point
would
is
cost
probably a
less
little
than
too
Cookie
slow.
Blade anyway. Yeah. You might do it if you're going to ECL a 4 drop, but if you're ECLing, you want to ECL this Amidala anyway, which is going to be all of your resources. So it's really interesting going. It's a lot of this is stemming from.
And it does. Sacrificing one of our spy tokens to keep Amidala fresh. All right. Will Carlos continue to control? It looks
I
like he
think
will.
so. The wrecker attack is so much damage, especially with the queen on board. I think you take that out because you still have your CAD. So it's just kind of easier to take. You might take this spy token out with aura and then attack base, and that just makes sure that the queen isn't able to attack with impunity and still have 3 health.
Time to do math, right? So we're getting
Yeah,
close to one of
that's
these
the other
players
thing.
dying here in the next turn or two.
Yeah, so
He
Carlos is
decides
going
to go full
full board
control.
control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really, really nervous about the race, and probably also says you're only going up to 6 resources. Unless it's from hand, you can't timely a Poe, you can't timely a wrecker at all. So Carlos just saying, I feel really safe that you can't kill my cat at all. I'm going to kill your entire board, and I'm going to win the race starting now.
Yeah, and he just saw the hand, so he knows there's no Poe or wrecker in hand. So to get the
Yeah.
line that you were just speaking of, he'd have to draw into both. And he did draw the timely, but we don't see the Poe or the wrecker.
And another thing worth noting, he saw the gorilla attack pod, so he made it so that Han cannot get him to 15 damage on base. So until Cad attacks, that gorilla attack pod cannot ready until Carlos gets the Han 2 player to 15 damage on base.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Definitely the safer line. When I play this a similar CAD deck, I play it generally pretty aggressive, but I will first to concede that Carlos knows this deck much better than I do.
Well, that's a concession to the matchup, really, where you know that this Han 2 is trying to go fast and trying to end the game with these wreckers and these gorilla attack pods. So Carlos is basically saying, I don't want to be in check with everything that you play, and I think he's going to turn the corner now. But I like his ideas to control the board early. Like if Wrecker got to attack here, Carlos is at 19. This X-wing kills him in 2 hits. And that's
Yeah,
probably before he wins the race. So I think here he's saying that this is how he wins the race, is by controlling the wrecker and making the Han flip turn not as impactful.
Yeah, doing the math on his last turn, it looked like he had 17 possible damage. Say he had known what was in Han's hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have put him to 24. So he was one short of pushing on the gas last turn to just go for lethal.
Yeah. And I think his goal here is going to be, can I get him to lethal in 1 attack next turn, which he will. This Garandan attack getting him to 16, Cad swinging for 9. So if he has another blaster, he could claim here and attack with Cad for 11. A blaster or a surprise strike. If he doesn't, he attacks with Garandan and then Cad attack for 9 is lethal. So Carlos really close to closing this out. But also has to think, what are the odds that a Sentinel gets drawn if he goes for the Garandan attack now? Yeah, so he doesn't have the extra damage in hand now. I would imagine Han 2 just has to claim here and hope to top deck a Sentinel. And then Carlos is going to flood the board with other guys. So we'll see a 4-lom come out.
Well, he did have the timely, so I suppose he could top deck another, Poe or a wrecker if he kept it in
But
hand.
he did not. So we're going to game 3 here. So note that was game 2 because Carlos got a deck check error to lose game 1. So that was an unsideboarded game 2. We are now going to game 3 for all the marbles post sideboard, where Han 2 is going to have the initiative or the choice of initiative against Cad Weenies. I think you always just take it, take the initiative. It matters a lot less than the mid-range variant.
Yeah, and to your point, let's go look at the sideboard here. The Typhos that you had mentioned in game 1 were not main deck, so I imagine the Typhos come in. You got 2 of those.
Wow. This is a really low to the ground Han 2 list, not with the Typhos not main deck as well. It's really interesting.
Yeah, as well as you had kind of mentioned when we were talking earlier about the Heroic Arc 170. There's only one, but it is in the sideboard, so I imagine that comes in as well. One of the interesting things is, do you bring in the Bright Hopes? We didn't see Carlos go to space much that game, but we know it's in the list. right?
Yeah,
So do those
and
come in too?
Picard knows that as well, right? I would imagine that they shared deck lists before the game, as standard in top eights. So knowing that, I would maybe bring them both in. He also saw Carlos being very controlling, so maybe he's not worried about Carlos going aggressive. Maybe he just brings in the heroic arc, and the typhos. I wouldn't hate that based on how the last game went. But it all depends on how you play the CAD matchup. I also tend to play it a little bit more aggressively, so the Bright Hopes would have been good against the way that I was playing this matchup.
Mhm. And then on the other side for Carlos here, some of the cards are a little bit later with Cad Bane, Devastator. I don't think we're going to see those, but there's a couple of interesting options with
Mhm.
No Good to Me Dead, Sneak Attack, and the IG 2000. What are you looking to bring in this time?
I don't think you want to bring in the sneak attack. That's mostly an homage to when you can sneak attack in a Devastator and you don't want to go that late. I don't hate the IG 2000. Um, he could bring in the Bazine if there are certain cards like the Poe and Wrecker that he's worried about on certain turns. I wouldn't hate bringing in Bazine here. I think CAD is a little bit too late. You usually want that against some of the other Sentinels that are out there in the wide board states. In general, CAD's okay against Han though because they damage their units so much. You get to capture more things. But I don't think Carlos wants to board that much, to be honest. Yeah, you already have one IG. You don't really need the second one. Waylay is probably better than No Good to Me Dead here, just in general. I don't. If there were more heroic arcs, I wouldn't hate boarding out the stolen AT haulers. But knowing that there's only one in the sideboard, I would probably keep the haulers in because against Hantu ECL specifically, they can kill the hauler a little bit easier than Hantu Blue or just other decks can. Um,
Yeah, not with this Han list in particular, to your point, right? Unless he
yeah,
brings in the Bright Hopes, it's hard for him to defend. There's only the one arc, so the chances of drawing a one over are a bit low. I think the Haulers are probably pretty good in this matchup.
yeah, he'd have to ECL a Crucible basically to kill the hauler, and I think you're just not worried his 6 resource play is ECLing into your 3 drop and leaving 1 health left on it.
Yeah, this is a fast, aggressive matchup. If that Hauler's
Yeah.
already hit you 2 or 3 times before you get to that, I think
Hmm.
Carlos is fine with it.
Yeah.
All right, Han's got his hand ready to go.
Gives the initiative to Carlos here, which is interesting.
So it
Yeah,
looks
with
like Carlos was able to get through game 2 there.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, we're going to game 3 here.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Dog sitting and meet and greet went great.
All right.
Yeah, I find I get along with most dogs. So,
Yeah.
pretty easy
Someone
meet
was
and greet.
meeting my dog, so we'll see.
I just assumed you were meeting a dog that just you had an appointment at your house.
Yeah, he's coming over, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be good.
Yeah, so Carlos taking a mulligan here. It is kind of interesting to give CAD initiative against the 1-drop deck specifically because I think standard you'll play one of your 1-drops, and the assumption is you still have another one to CAD ping. So if you try to play the pass claim game against this CAD, they still end up with a unit in play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that's very effective against, say, the Han one greens with the Cad weenies, right?
Hmm.
If a Han tries to, put down a recess to go to that 3 drop and put a ship up in space, well, Cad can still 1 drop and then punish you with the second 1 drop into the target
Yeah,
town.
exactly. Or even if I have initiative as the CAD player, I'll just play my first 1-drop, and if they Han activate, I'll pass. Because if they want to just claim and waste their card, I'm okay with that. They're gonna play their 3-drop, whatever it is, either way.
Hmm. All right,
Karasnemic
and
here is the best turn one. This and Gungi are the best turn ones I think that they can have. And Carlos not opting to Tarkin Town the Karasnemic.
yeah, and that doesn't do
It's
much for you, right? You decide to Tarkin Town, they come out the ready spy
well, it's an
token, just probably kills your stormtrooper.
but the thing is, they claim so the ready spy token doesn't do anything if you Tarkin Town on turn 1.
Yeah, I wasn't sure
So
if we'd heard if he had passed or claimed in between.
he definitely he definitely claimed because he's looking to act first. And then the other thing about that is the spy token can't kill the Guavin and the Karis can.
Now Obi-Wan comes down, provides a pretty interesting conversation here because it's a prime Tarkentown target here with the Guavian swinging in or the Stormtrooper first. I
Mhm.
don't think that Carlos Yoda Killer wants to take a turn off here and let the Yoda Sentinel wear out and go from there. But with that Saboteur, he opts to go straight to base, leaving that Death Trooper maybe to be that sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, and this is the interesting part because last game Hantu was the aggressor and Carlos was playing control. So now we're seeing if the roles are different here. And yeah, we do see him just take out the Guavin. So I like that a lot. Take out the Saboteur, draw a card, get your spy token on board that's also threatening this 3-1. You can attack the 3-1 back. The 3-1 can attack into the spy token because you have the Obi Sentinel in the way.
Hmm.
And this is
Yeah,
where again
opting not to run the Stormtrooper into Obi-Wan to set up a potential Tarkin town. So
yeah, it's interesting there. I think he's saying that he's just going to ignore the Obi-Wan. You're not going to play a force unit on 4R. If you attack into my Boba, I can Tarkin Town then. Um, the Obi-Wan's a really awkward one to deal with because you don't want to throw all your resources into him because he's not going to have Sentinel after that. After that
Absolutely.
initial turn in this list.
You see that a lot in the Yoda matchups right now, but we see a little bit of a punish coming out because the Hotshot Blaster's coming in, going to clear this Obi-Wan while keeping Tarkin Town up and keeping
Mhm.
Boba alive.
And still a resource. So even if you play a guy that you said, oh, he can't Tarkin Town without the ping, there's always the threat of there being a one cost underworld card coming out to still be able to ping.
On the other
is that a
side, we have no resources spent from Nick here. We're going to see a play happen soon.
yeah? I think I saw a Bounty Hunter Quarry and another Obi-Wan, so he could play both and then use the Obi-Wan next turn to go after the Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He could also ECL in if he really wants to trigger this turn and doesn't want to take the 5. He might also use Han to play a Typho if he has one. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to ECL in probably this. Oh, ECLing in a Cassian. Interesting. So really taking the defensive approach here because he's keeping the Obi-Wan in his hand to play for a future turn. So it's really interesting how the roles have just completely reversed. Last game we saw Obi-Wan only attacking base, Carlos cleaning up the board, and this turn this game it's a little bit different with Han 2 taking a little more controlling approach to the game.
Got some good options here from that Bounty Hunter core. I saw Gunji, Karis Nemec, Grogu, Sabine's Masterpiece. Kyle, what say you?
Yeah, you're right. Very good choices, and a lot of them dodge the potential Tarkin town if Carlos does have a one drop. So Nemec being able to create the spy, Gunji being 5 health, but also same with Grogu. It's a challenging. I think
Yeah.
I would go with Grogu. I was just about to say I think I would go with Grogu as well because it kind of punishes the pings and can help him in
Mhm.
future turns with picking off some of these small units.
Yeah, I think Grogu is the clear winner here because now you have to make Carlos decide he might not even ping the Grogu because next turn Grogu can just heal and kill the gunslinger anyway. And that's going to be Carlos's dilemma until this Grogu dies, which is not coming soon because he's got 6 health, can heal himself. Even with Tarkin Town up, it's still tough to deal with this Grogu. Hantu doesn't want to see it on turn 1, but they definitely want to see it after that.
Yeah, and as you're looking at this, even like this patented Forlom ambush with Cad Ping doesn't take care of Grogu, and in that action, if it's sequenced properly from Nick on the other side, he's going to be able to take that 2 of that damage off of that 5, which makes it so even then afterwards you would need to Tarkin Town, right? Like that's the
Hmm.
math change that Grogu offers here.
Yeah.
And as we go into the later resource turns, it could really mess up the board state for Carlos here.
It
Yeah,
would be tough
definitely.
to. Do you attack with Grogu to kill this? If you do, Carlos can respond with an underworld unit, get the ping, and then Tarkin down the Grogu. So do you want something else on the board to soak that ping?
Yeah, I think I like just flipping Han here. Carlos
Agreed.
doesn't have something like an ECL. His ambush is capped at 4 LOM, so he's not going to be able to kill this Han in one action. You just want to leave this Grogu up as long as possible here. Ooh, let's see what he names.
Probably Poe again, right?
It's got to be because also that there's 2 Poe options, and
Yep.
yeah, it looks he did name Poe because Poe
Yeah,
he could
Poe's
have also taken a pilot Poe if that was the only one there. But also the biggest threat that you're worried about is either Wrecker or this Poe coming down.
Yeah, with ECL used, I think Poe's even scarier at the moment because
Yeah.
a swing the next turn it can take out multiple units.
Yeah, definitely. Now I think we see Han clean up these units. Yeah, I think worried about a McClunky into
Yeah,
another Garandan there.
rightfully so. Obviously, knowing that Bazine is in this side deck as well, you don't want to give them the opportunity to continually take cards out of your hand.
Oh,
Seeing,
I love that play. So
yeah, no
no
good to
good to
me
me
dead.
dead on the Grogu because Grogu was threatening to just heal Han and kill the Gunslinger. Now the Gunslinger is going to get to take out one of these spy tokens and still be around. And Grogu's not going to be around to mess with Cad's flip either. So I love that play from Carlos.
Yeah, as of right now, Grogu's main job is just absorbing pings, probably.
Yeah.
Both players at very low HP totals, and the Han player starting to build a rather large board.
Hmm.
We talked about during the sideboarding. Hey, do you bring in something like CAD or do you bring in Devastator? And probably not because we don't think the game goes that late. But this could be the exception.
Yeah, if Han 2 does pull this out, I really wish we would get a game 3 because it's just kind of fascinating the way the roles reversed between the last game and this one. And would they reverse again? Would the sideboard plan change a little bit based on how this game is playing out? A lot of interesting options here.
Yeah, it really does feel like this sideboard for Hantu is really set up for the control matchup, for the Yoda matchup. So wonder how much possibly would be changed. I would imagine that third Grogu came in.
Mm. Yeah, we see another spy go down. So Carlos starting to clean up this board. I mean, this is his flip turn now, and there's no ECL, so he's not worried about Wrecker ambushing and killing Cad in one action.
Cad comes out looking like we're getting a sudden ferocity, or is it another Garindan?
I think it's another Garandan. Yeah.
Yeah, there it comes.
He must have called Obi-Wan because the Han player immediately went to put it in the
Hmm.
pile.
Yep.
Well, he already knew about the Obi-Wan, so I think he
Mhm.
just didn't want his CAD to be interrupted. So now he can try to go after the Grogu if he has a blaster. He can kill the Queen now that he's killed the spies. So he's got some options to finish cleaning up this board. He didn't want Obi-Wan mucking up the waters.
On the other side, we saw a Red 5 Bounty Hunter's Quarry as well. So I would
Hmm.
imagine both of those get played, or maybe a combination of like a smuggled Cassian plus Bounty Hunter Quarry. So it's not a
Yeah.
completely lost turn, but really great grab there from Yoda Killer and Garindan.
Being
Yeah,
behind on damage and board being what it is, do you think Carlos is forced into continuing to control for the moment?
I
I
think
think so.
so. Yeah. He's already at 8. It doesn't sound that high, but when we've got the Queen here, 3 more damage potentially coming in. He sees now that the hand has no top end from Han 2, so he's not worried about he doesn't know that Wrecker's coming this turn and he's gonna die in 2 turns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Other
and
thing to keep in mind is Argenton's up.
Yep, still around. I think the Han player correctly assesses he's the beatdown at this point. Even with
Yeah,
his hand being
definitely.
stripped, continue to push the damage.
Hmm.
Yeah, there is a Cassian down there.
Yeah, and so I would imagine we take out the Queen here. It's tempting to take out the Grogu, but the Queen is so much damage.
Getting to
Um,
16 sucks, right? After that,
yeah.
you're a Poe Wrecker hit away from being really out of it. But Carlos knows better than us, realistically
He
speaking.
does go for the Grogu, and the other thing here is that now his cat is healthier. He can still take out the Queen next turn, especially because he assumes he might get initiative with no resources being spent yet from Han. So he probably thinks I have the time to attack into Queen first action next turn if I want to, and he can still play something here, like something like if he has a Forlom, um, it'd be
I think
really
I saw the
interesting actually what he ambushes into, but.
Yeah, it looked like the Prestige IG 2000 up there. So with 4 left, I suppose he could put damage down.
Yeah,
That
I
would
don't
allow him
mind
to
that.
Tarkin down the Queen, right?
Yeah, Tarkentown is still up. So if he has IG, then that would really explain the Grogu hit. Yeah, because he can
It's the Mist Hunter.
ping everything and Tarkentown the Queen.
Oh, it's Mist
Uh,
Hunter. Yeah, I saw the Prestige on top. I thought it was IG
Oh
1000.
yeah, very different. And
yep. And
yeah,
then
and
we
Yep.
we get a
see that
Bounty Hunter's
Bounty
Quarry
Hunter
trigger
Quarry.
on a unique
Mhm.
unit. So the full 10 search.
See if he gets as good of luck as he had last time. Pretty hard to
Yeah,
beat.
there's another
Uh,
Grogu.
Yep.
and a Gunji and a Cassian.
I think
So
you
it's
just go
probably
for the other
Grogu
Grogu.
or Gunji, and I'm probably siding towards Grogu here.
Yeah, it's only one less attack than the Gunji anyway. Obviously, if you have something like a General's Blade that you want to get that train rolling, but we've seen his hand, and there's nothing in it right now anyway.
Yeah.
So you would have to top deck the General's Blade.
Another thing to note here is that we see no pose and no wreckers in this top group of cards. Also, no
Mhm.
attack pods or anything big. So another good opportunity to kind of dig for what you're looking
Interesting.
for.
So he goes for disabling Fang Fighter, which
Hmm.
does not line up well into this Mist Hunter. But I'm maybe he's seeing that Carlos is going to have to first action kill this queen anyway, so then the Fang Fighter gets to attack base, and there's just a lot of cleanup in multiple arenas.
Yeah. I also considered maybe it's just a quasi heal 3,
Hmm.
but yeah,
So
you're right.
3 damage is more than 2, right? To that point, if he has to kill the queen first and you get to hit with this, that's 1 more damage than Grogu, especially if he's doing the math to race to the finish.
Yeah, right. You are, Kyle. 3 more than
But
2.
my thought on that is right now, Carlos's ground units are taxed with killing all of your ground units. So something else was going to get through anyway.
Mhm.
Whereas Carlos's space unit wasn't taxed at all, and it would have just been 3 to base with nothing else happening. So basically, you're giving the Mist Hunter a little bit of a free reign here to kill this Fang Fighter, and still Carlos has the same ability to clean up the board that he would have if you hadn't played the Fang Fighter.
Looks like Justin or a Sing
So the
don't want
Gunslinger
to
still
put
can't
it
kill
on
Han.
Cassian. That's the only bad move, I think.
But basically, if you put it on the Fang Fighter, it's the same as putting 3 damage on your base, which I don't think you care too much about at this point because you're just trying to get in those last few points of damage. We have a blaster coming in to kill this Cassian. A lot of decisions here for Carlos. Looks like he can't kill the Cassian.
Not
He does
yet,
get
at
to
least.
draw a
Maybe.
card off the Mist
I don't know.
Hunter, so maybe that'll change something. And the Mist Hunter does have 3 damage on it now. Oh, interesting. He's going into the Cassian.
So he's going to need
Setting up
Tarkin Town here.
Tarkin Town. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting the 3 damage on there now. Still 5 resources up. Could still play something like a Zuckuss. Um,
2 Cassians have already been
chat
played.
asking if
So.
there is a route for Carlos. There absolutely is. He's going to be able to kill the Cassian. This Han 2 deck isn't playing any pumps, but this is a chance for Han 2 to kind of slam the door shut on this game 3. They still haven't spent any resources.
I suppose another route was if he did bring in that Cad Bane from the sideboard.
Mm-hmm. So we see Blue Leader coming down. Now, is it ambushing anything? I mean, you at least ambush. Well, the Orsing was just played this turn, so you can't ambush there. You could kill the Cad, and then looks like he didn't ambush, so he didn't want to damage. He didn't want to leave the Blue Leader up to be Tarkin Towned because now it's representing lethal by itself.
Well, Carlos has to have an answer for this blue leader if the Han player claimed.
I don't think there is one, except for Waylay, which there is the Waylay.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
So the off aspect blaster would be lethal here. A lot of Han players are playing it. Can't remember exactly if it was in the deck list.
See it in this list, but I could have missed it.
That's
Yeah,
one
I've seen
thing
the
to play around here.
off aspect
Yeah,
blaster.
there are no
and
blasters in this list.
Got it.
He could timely in a Wrecker, or after he attacks with Han, timely in a Poe to deal 2 more to base there. So yeah, the way he wins this turn is a timely Poe, I think, now that he's done that attack for 3.
Yeah, to Jordan's point earlier, we haven't seen a Poe or Wrecker in hand, but he did filter his deck a couple of times. We didn't see them in there, so they're on their way up.
Yeah, they're coming at some point. This is going to be before the match ends. We'll find out.
Yeah. And we got word
yeah.
from our other top 8 matchups. We have 2 more streamed matchups. One of them has already concluded, and one of them is in game 1. still as a Yoda versus Palp.
Call that a Jordan special.
Yeah. So big turn here. A lot of thoughts going back both ways. We saw the Cassian getting taken care of. Carlos knows that 2 Cassians have been used already, so that's one less thing to play around. Miss Hunter takes his 3, and we see a blue leader come down, probably to clean this this cat up, maybe.
No, I don't think you run in at
you
all. You
ambush.
just set up
You
threats.
just say, CAD, you have to clean all these units up. Deal with it.
Because that's 10 damage you got to do, right? He's showing 4, 7, so not enough on board to clear both.
Yeah, so if Greedo hits and there's a blaster, then Carlos can clean up this board. He has to sacrifice his... Oh, there is the CAD ping.
He did bring
So
it
he's
in.
doing the CAD ping first and then capture both units.
See, that's part of why I think you might want to go into the CAD there, is because then you only have to deal with one of them as opposed to both of them.
Yeah, and now he gets some damage on base here. So 7 damage coming in.
Oh, this Han player is dying to draw ECL record opponent.
And there's a record. Does he have a timely in the row? This could be it.
I think this is it either way. He's either got that timely or he's getting God on the swing back.
Yeah, this is definitely the last turn of this game. The question is there a timely in the row for this wrecker, or does Carlos have it? Without a timely, that's not enough.
Timely is what we're looking for. Can Carlos come back from his first game loss? He's checking right now. Is it there? It's not there. It's not there.
I think Carlos has it.
Yep.
Picard obviously thinking through his options.
So if it did appear, is that a board state violation, or is that just the mistake?
Plenty of time. This is game 3. There's no reason to prematurely scoop here unless you've thought through everything and really made sure that you're not missing something.
I don't see it. I think realization is sitting in. We've seen the row. Yeah, he can kill something here, but math says I've still got lethal.
I think what's crazy is that if you did take off CAD last turn, you would have had one more turn to draw into timely.
Yeah, well,
even with Wrecker taking out another 3-drop, he's still at 26. So I think even if he had killed the CAD last turn, that would mean you would have to kill the Mist Hunter or a Sing this turn, and that's still 13 more damage here.
Yeah, that still would have put you at 26. He was
all over either last turn.
Oh, Carlos didn't attack with the Mist Hunter, so the blue leader gets to take it out. This is still lethal though, unless I'm miscounting.
Yeah, we still have 10 damage. Yeah, we still have 10. It's okay.
Still have 10 more. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, it was by a lot. So yeah.
And there we have it. The fist bump is out. Carlos comes back from that game 1 deck check error loss happily on our end that it didn't come back to burn him. Great play from Nick on the other end. It came down to multiple inches there, more or less, right? The CAD was Carlos's basically only out, and Nick's only out there was a timely record. If we're looking at one of those win probability trackers, I bet we just went from drastic highs to drastic lows on both sides in the past 5 minutes.
I think it's fun that we talked about it during the sideboard option, and Carlos agreed to bring in that CAD, and it was the right decision because I think that was the only way back.
Yeah, and it's really the whole time. We saw in game 2, the first game that we saw, that Carlos was the control, and then we saw in game 2 Picard started out as the control and then immediately turned the corner, and thankfully Carlos had his control cards also in for that CAD for when he had to switch and become the controls. It was a really interesting series, and that game 3 that we just saw especially was pretty wild to watch. Yeah, he did bring in the Bright Hopes and the Typhos.
Yeah, I think you need to with that Space Force from Yoda Killer. So we have Yoda Killer punching his ticket to the top 4. On the other hand, our backup match, we have Sabe double yellow versus Kira Data Vault. We're going to get that ready for you here in a second. We're on game 2. Kira won game 1, currently at 18-10 in favor of Sabe. It looks like we're at one of our favorite resources, which is resource a lot for Kira, not as many for Sabe. And this is a fun matchup. This is a clash of 2 styles. Jeff, what's your thought?
My thought is first I have to get into the correct other VDO room to be able to see the board state. All right, I'm here.
Cool.
Um, this is a really interesting matchup because Sabe in general, um, it you have to kind of know what your opponent wants to do as well to play Sabe correctly, because you need to know when what you need to take off the top of their deck, when you shouldn't take anything off the top of their deck, how to use the knowledge that you have correctly. So I think it's a very tough deck to actually pilot correctly, even though the decision making with what units you play and what you attack with might not be that intricate.
And now we see that Plo come down, clear the Death Trooper. We have a double shielded double shielded
That's what it looks like.
devastating
Yeah.
gunship. Really cool shields there with the fast Falcon taking Kira to 21. Kyle, you've been playing a little Sabe, but you're pretty loyal to Kira long term. Who do you think has the edge overall here?
I think if I was sitting down at the table before this match started, I would want to be the Kira player myself. But that Sabe ability, there are certain pain points. There are things I need to accomplish as Kira that if are ripped away from me via that hero side ability or the flipped ability, can really change the calculus on who wins this matchup.
Yeah, and one thing he knows, the Sabe player now knows that Kira has at least one power of the dark side, because that was the other card seen. The Palp's return was taken.
Yeah. We see him paying for the Falcon. I assume Sabe has already been flipped and dealt with. We're coming in late on this. I assume the same for Kira, to be honest, as well.
Yeah, we need
And
some
it's
of those.
interesting here. Yeah, he kept. Normally, you would bounce the Falcon there, but I think knowing that your opponent has a power of the dark side, you're saying this way I'm going to get an attack in. He can either play a unit now so that this Plo Koon is insulated, or he can get his Plo Koon attack in before Kira gets to power.
Like he's
So
searching
that's
for a
another
buff.
instance. Yeah, it's another instance of the knowledge that you have coming in handy there.
Yeah, 5
Last
debate
run, go for
there.
5.
And this is
So
the classic data vault situation where you're so close to getting them, but they got
you
that
think you're
extra
so
3
close.
health.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do believe that
7
he
away.
has to tap one additional resource here from paying from the Falcon. Looks like there's only
He
3
hasn't
tapped
replaced the
resources.
smuggle yet, I don't think.
No, he did replace the
He did?
smuggle,
Okay,
but
so yeah, so he should have one
it
more
should be
tap
one
here.
resource down. We'll see if that comes into play. Vigilance comes in, clears the Poe, heals 6, or the Plo, excuse me, down to think 19. We went off to a different screen on this very, very cool life tracker.
I think that Vigilance really swings this for Kira because they still have the power for whatever comes out next, and now you're really far away. 12 is a lot. It feels good to be in the 20s, but you still have to deal 12 damage to this Data Vault deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same way
and
it
you're
feels a lot better to be 21 than 29. Am I right, Jeff?
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely that situation where now the Kira player is going to be just doing the blue green villain things. You're going to be seeing Avenger and Power and Snoke, and it's just so hard to get that over that last hump.
Yeah, and you either kill the space units that get played or punch Sabe in the face for 5 and have an actual clock. Either one you're okay with.
And I think the Sabe player here is trying to build that calculus. What do I do?
He
Yeah.
claims the initiative. Thankfully, that resource issue doesn't come into play.
We see both a Spark and a Kira here. I think the problem was that they could have played a unit, but they know about the power and that Kira's probably not spending their resources except on a removal spell anyway.
Mhm.
So no real point in just running your cards out to die. Versus now, maybe you start with a Spark and take the power and see what else you have to go up against.
Which gives us the information as well.
Yeah, we have
Confiscate.
power,
Interesting.
hyperspace, resupply, timely, and devastating gunship. I think
Not the strongest
probably-
hand, to be
No.
honest.
Yeah, this gives you hope as Sabe. You see this and you think, wow, you don't
I
have all
just
these
take the
big
power and
chonkers.
play ground units.
Yeah, I think that's probably the move here because you're also getting to that point in the game where Devastator could really shut off the space arena just like full stop.
hmm
So I think power is the right move. I could see an
Yeah.
argument for the gunship just from a damage perspective. You are sitting at 15, about to go to 20 this turn, most likely.
When we didn't see all this matchup, but I wonder if the current hand from Kira is bad luck into draws recently, or if this is the power of Sabe having ripped away multiple cards that would be sitting in hand at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. We talked about it in the Sabe Double Yellow video we have on the Colorado Cantina Crew YouTube channel. But a lot of people think and have commented on Sabe that her ability like just isn't good because you have to discard a card from the top of someone's deck. And I hear that it would be better if you didn't have to, but it's still awesome, right? It could be better, but I think it's still really strong. And I think we've seen, depending on the matchup and that knowledge that you referenced earlier, really comes into play.
Well,
it does kind of compound with Data Vault, where like people say, oh, 33 health is so good, but you have slightly worse luck. And it's the same thing with Sabe, right? Like you're just making your opponent have worse luck.
Yeah, so Sabe has an opening now after seeing that hand for building a board to try to win this game. The problem is Kira's going to be able to set up lethal between these two gunships.
Yeah.
It's
lethal next turn with those. Sabe might need a waylay or something.
Double cunning sounds good. We do see a claim, so maybe he is worried about the cunning here. Could get that double exhaust to buy yourself a turn.
It looked like another pretty weak draw from Kira. We had the ambush ship that could deal with this Falcon and maybe another resupply.
Not sure it's going to matter.
Because I think I see a Han pilot, but both of these gunships are shielded, so the Falcon can't kill either one, even with the Han pilot.
Yeah, I think you need a bounce situation or a cunning situation. Yeah.
There's definitely an event there, but I can't tell what it is. Is it a cunning?
It's impropriety among thieves.
Here we go again.
We get one shielded. So now I think the move is you have to swing in with Han, right? Or excuse me, you have to swing in with the Falcon to get Sabe to 23 because that Falcon's not long for the world.
Yeah. This is great. We saw this played earlier today, and just like his opponent here, I had to read the card. What is going on?
I believe you have to exchange your readied unit with their readied unit only for the turn. So it's like a much more restrictive change of heart. But when you're playing 3 drops against 10 drop Devastators, it could like that could have been a very easy swing of the game if there had been a 10 drop Devastator. You play Falcon, and then you just impropriety it.
Surprise strike coming in for 8 damage, bringing Kira to 29.
Wow, so now if he has another surprise strike, this Falcon attack is lethal on the crackback.
And he does have the Han pilot in hand that we did see.
That's true. That'll do it. Yeah. So if this Falcon gets to attack.
Wow.
So
and
does the Kira player claim?
Right? Like you can't use hard removal on your own units. I think most of them say enemy unit.
Yeah, he could claim, however, though, when these units trade back, if the Falcon would have to bounce, and then the Kira player could delay to ensure that it can't come down to end this game.
Yeah, he has to think about what are the odds that Sabe has another pump.
High.
So he attacks. So unless he has something to kill this Falcon, it is fairly well protected right now.
Oh, he doesn't. He just floods the board.
Yeah, so I think Sabe's got this with the Han pilot that we saw before. So basically, Kira was saying, "I'm betting that you don't have another pump, and I want to be able to kill you in one action."
Wait, does it go back to his hand or back to his arena? I'm not sure about how this card works.
I thought they both went back to the arena.
What happens during the regroup? What's the order of things?
I'm
still
on mute. It should It should switch back at the start of the regroup phase, and then the Falcon triggers when you ready cards during the regroup phase.
Yeah, so the Falcon should still be out right now, correct? On the Sabe player side, and Sabe decides
obviously he gets to decide.
Yeah, I think
we see the Han pilot in hand.
Well, this is a massive question, right? Obviously, if
it
Falcon's out, this game is over.
Yeah.
And I'm almost positive we saw that Han pilot.
There was definitely a Han pilot in hand, and I think there might be...
Let's get the judges involved.
Oh, the Falcon went to the discard pile for some reason, and now it looks like there's a judge, and they're sorting it out.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw it go back to his hand, but yeah, this is a crucial call. Usually, you want to side on the fact that the judges are watching. It's not our responsibility, but this is a huge one.
Oh yeah, I mean, it literally decides the match completely, because if the Falcon is out, Han pilot ends the game. Falcon is not out, then this devastating gunship attack ends the game.
Yeah, they're like, let's pull up the card. This is why the judge Discord exists, because no one plays this card, and you need a ruling.
Yeah, it's one of the unique things. It's like when Kazuda got released and people were like, wait, based on the timing of what happens in the regroup phase, this means you don't pay for Falcon. And it's a similar thing here of like, well, based on the timing of this being the start of the regroup phase, not the end of the regroup phase, then the Falcon still gets to stay out. So
Yeah,
it's one of those weird timing things that rarely comes up except with cards like this that specify points of the regroup phase that things happen.
And from my perspective, I think the only thing that might have the ability to be walked back is that Falcon becoming readied in that unit, in that arena, staying on the field. I don't think your treatment of how you dealt with that sequence from the Jonathan side can be reanalyzed.
Well,
Yeah, because John, it feels bad for Jonathan because maybe he says, "Oh, if I'd known that, I would have claimed and not attacked." But now that you've already regrouped, drawn cards, and gone to the next turn, I think, assuming that they have drawn cards, it's pretty tough, I think, to roll it back that far. If they haven't drawn cards, maybe you can, but
I don't think so. I think that's the definition of gaining new information, basically, right? Like you're saying, oh, it ended up this way. I would have done it differently if I had known. But you read it, you looked at it.
This is the exact situation that it's always ask immediately. Don't wait to find out later.
Yeah,
for you aspiring judges out there, this is the sort of thing I would expect to see on the judge exam.
Yeah, and as we're waiting,
this is why the judges always say judges are your friend, because you can say, "Oh, I thought it worked this way, so I did this," but that's not relevant, right? What's relevant is this is how it works, and if you had asked before, then you could maybe be in a better spot and not force the judges into a spot where they have to decide, can we rewind it this far, and not force your opponent to feel kind of bad, like, oh, am I okay with them rewinding it? It's just kind of a bad situation all around. And if you have any questions, just always ask a judge.
Yeah, but that's what we're finding out from our boots on the ground, right?
Yeah, so Jonathan and Nathan thought it worked differently, and John took actions based on that understanding. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, what the result is. We'll keep you updated as we go. They're trying to walk it back to understand what cards go where. I think there's no way that this ends up with the Falcon not in the space arena on Nathan's side, right? Like I don't see a resolution that it could be different. And to be honest, yesterday I had an issue, a judge call very, very well. It wasn't an issue at all once we spoke through it, but I was playing someone that informed me that he was hard of hearing. And we had a really big misunderstanding in terms of how the Phasma unit buff resolved. And based on that misunderstanding, we were able to work it out between us and with the help of a judge as well. But it happens, right? It happens all the time.
Yeah, it happened a lot at Worlds because there were a lot of European players coming to America, a lot of Americans not used to European accents, Europeans with English not as their first language. There were a lot of judge calls about miscommunications and misunderstandings for sure.
We're seeing palms pleading their case either way.
Yeah. The adrenaline is pumping. I'm sure there's some perspiration happening. I know on my end, I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to find out. And, you never want to see judge calls influence the result of the game. We're seeing some very animated talking. I really empathize with Jonathan here because I move my hands like that as well.
Yeah, and honestly, I think if Jonathan just claims there, he wins this game fairly easily.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know with the Eager Escort in hand, there's no way that the Sabe player is going to get this Falcon attack through. Mm-hmm. But the actions that he took, giving initiative to Sabe, just losing the game.
Absolutely. And we have the judges deliberating now. Obviously, we're not positive if Nathan has explained that he has a Han pilot in his hand and then he does have lethal. He's not under no obligation to do that, obviously.
Yeah, I know we've already hit it, but this definitely just double enforces ask immediately. Don't assume if it's a challenging situation.
Yeah, especially with a lesser played card, one that you don't see a lot. And he might have asked his opponent. Maybe he said, oh, how does this work? And his opponent told him what his opponent thought was correct. But your opponent, A, is not the rules authority on the card, and B, doesn't always have your best interest at heart. Now, I'm not saying in this case the opponent had ill intent. I don't think they did. They both thought the card worked that way. But just in general, whenever an opponent asks me a question, I say, let's ask a judge so you don't have to take my word for it.
I think that's a great rule of practice. I think that's a great standard to have because you never want to see it end that way. Kyle,
Yeah.
how about when you and I were competing at the Albuquerque PQ in our top 4 matchup? I had the top seed, so I was able to get initiative, and you're like, that doesn't work that way. We're great friends and teammates, and we call the judge and get it done.
To be fair, it didn't used to work that
I
way.
know.
So that was a rule that had changed. So yeah, we had to bring in a judge. But to your point, that's exactly what we did.
Why the Falcon didn't run into the gunship.
Whoa.
Looks like we are
okay.
rewinding it here.
Oh wow. Well, I think this favors Kira, right? I mean, we're getting it correct.
This means Kira wins the game for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
It
So
says
now I think what we're saying is Kira. No, wait. Are we not running it back?
Never mind.
JK, we're not running it back. Process running through.
To me.
It's walking.
To me.
It's walking back so many actions. Shoot new information.
Agreed.
Shoot new information.
Agreed.
But that is the letter of the law of this game. So that is what the judges, I would assume that they're going to, but I mean, whatever the judges say here,
I assume that
this is a really tricky one.
Yeah, I bet they're in the judge Discord really inquiring within because this is a really tough call. And, depending on how advanced and how experienced you are as a judge, it could be a really challenging one to do. It does seem, just from reading body language on the Jonathan perspective, it seems like he feels like his actions were influenced based on information that might not have been perfectly. We got final ruling, no walkout. That's going to seal the game. I guess what they were talking about Han Pilot. Jonathan preemptively cleans up.
Yeah. So we should see the Han Pilot finish this out. And if we do, at least the good news is Kira got game 1, so we're going to see that we're going to get to finish this on the table. We'll see at game 3.
Yeah.
And here it is.
So it does feel kind of bad, but yeah, at least we're going to see it. It might have felt worse if Sabe had won game 1 for sure. This does Carlos though, where now both of these players have been kind of mentally frazzled by this, right? Like these long judge calls, this explanation, you don't want to, you kind of feel bad about this or that. Like are both of these players going to be able to mentally reset and play a clean game 3?
You have to. There's no choice in the matter. And realistically speaking, it sucks for everybody, right? Like your rhythm is thrown off, your momentum, your focus, and your mental energy at this point in the game as well. We can't forget about that. But I'm happy we were able to get it right. I'm happy that we're moving on to a game 3. And we saw Carlos, we saw Yoda Killer being able to, really persevere through those issues. And we'll see the opportunity for Jonathan and Nathan to prove that here.
Yeah, I think it's a little harder for Jonathan.
Yeah, I don't know about these life counters having a reset, but I really enjoyed the quick double tap from Sabe. That was a very expertly done. They've used this life counter before.
Yeah, we got news earlier, actually. This was made by the store at Boars Hat Gaming, and they're looking for a manufacturer. So I love cool little products like that. So great to see it. Like we've had the awesome Premier Game tokens on our main table all day long, and now get to see these coming from a store. Anytime a store does stuff like that, that's awesome too. It makes a great.
You also get to see the super sick McClunky initiative token. I did not win the giveaway for that. I was sad.
Yeah, what the hell, Tim? What the hell, Tim?
The Greedo coffin that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually just got our custom initiative tokens from the Premier Game store. Jeff got one yesterday.
I got one too.
Myself. Yeah, we're really pumped about it. We'll have to show them off on our next stream here. We do also have news that we're getting a time extension. Haven't had a firm number yet. There's estimated of 15 minutes left in the round. You would imagine it's at least 20. That felt like
there's only 15 minutes left. That's wild, because I'm curious. There's a Yoda Kira match still going on as well. So there was it. There's some other matches that might go to time too. So it looks like we have about 18 minutes left for the stream table. I think that's with the extension included.
Yeah. And they're smiling, they're talking, so at least they're not ready to jump across the table and attack each other, which is positive. That's what we want to see here as we're closing up this game set of 3.
Question from me about these end of round rules. I've heard unsubstantiated that the life remaining on base doesn't happen anymore, or is that maybe it only doesn't happen if you haven't started game 3 yet?
Oh, that wasn't my understanding. We'll have to get a rules
Okay,
check
so
here.
we think we're still the tiebreaker if it goes to time is who has the most health remaining on their base first, and then who has initiative second.
I think
That's my
that's
understanding.
correct in a top 8
Okay.
situation, right? We don't do that in Swiss, but once you get to
Yeah,
top
yeah,
8, I believe
just for
that's right.
top cut because you
Mhm.
can't have a tie.
All right, let's get started here. So waiting on one resource decision.
Yeah, then the
So
other
I
nice
mentioned
thing
that, yeah.
about this too is there's a lot of eyes on this table from the judge perspective, especially if most of the other top 8 have
Totally.
finished. So, what were you saying, Kyle?
The Kira player electing to put away ramp there. He had the choice with the Inferno Force, so he must have another in hand. And there it is.
There
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. Gets one step closer to that Kira flip. Not too much in this deck, sans. Yeah, like I guess you could blaster a Bale to take out a Kira. See a faith in your friends.
Yeah, I love this card from a card design perspective. I really want them to delve deeper into events that aren't just damage units, kill units, discard cards. Unique effects on events are really cool for the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think unique costs are really cool as well to that point, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's disclosed or something else, but it's possible that we end this turn off with Bale flanked by 3 spies.
Yeah.
On that disclosed, we see a Plo, a Falcon, and a Cunning.
Yeah, this is a huge ground presence already. If
And does
Kira
it get
has something
bigger?
like an OB,
It
I
gets
think
bigger.
they might be in that range. If there's
Looking
an
at the
OB in
top.
these top 2 cards, it's not going to hand, I'll tell you that much.
So Rivals Fall and a Hyperspace Disaster opts to take Rivals Fall off the board.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
We didn't see the resourcing earlier. If we don't have an OB in hand, I don't think I see one right now. The important question is, do we have a CAD in the row? And he's picking up quickly, so
Looks
I'm going to
like
say
yeah,
yes.
there's definitely a CAD there.
Yep. That will
So that
take
lets you kill
out
the
the
Bale, and
Bale.
then you just have 3 spies with damage on them. I would imagine Kira just goes on spy extermination duty for a couple of turns here.
The
Yeah, I
question
think
is,
this
what
is your.
does the spy happen? Right? Are they taking base or are they swinging into Kira?
I really
It's
like the
tough to
CAD coming out of
sacrifice your
this
whole
list these
board to
days.
kill the Kira, because the Kira gets to take out 1 spy for free anyway. So you do you want to trade 3 spies for Kira?
Kyle's probably the
Yeah.
one that has the most Kira experience within us. What do you think about that trade, Kyle?
Yeah, I think I want to. I want my opponent to trade into my Kira. Really, what I'm using Kira for at this stage in the game is to reduce damage and clear the board. So if you're going to put resources into killing my Kira, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but I like this a lot. So using the pumped spy from Cunning to kill Kira, so now you still have 2 spies left. It still feels kind of bad because you are you're spending 6 damage. You're putting what could have been 6 damage on base into Kira. And the CAD can still start to clean up the spies.
Yeah, at this point, you're feeling much better as Kira because now you're gonna have the initiative. You can handle a spy right away if you choose to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're controlling both arenas, and you're only at what 6? Is that a 6 damage on base?
Yeah, 6
That
on
feels
base.
pretty good.
So.
I do wonder though if the punish of not taking out Kira and having that massive OB threat is more damning in the worst case of things.
Well, it's the same OB threat on CAD, right? Because CAD's
Mhm.
4 power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the power of CAD.
Cool.
That's the ideal line
Yeah.
these days. 'Cause you flip with CAD, you're presenting 2 units, and you set up the OB the next turn. It's unless it's your only option, I don't think you OB on the Kira turn nearly as often these days.
Yeah, Kira is okay. Kadra is amazing.
So Cat opts to go to base as opposed to cleaning up the spies, taking Sabe to 6. Sabe fires back, bringing Kira to 8, and we see a super laser blast go from the top of the deck. That's a hard vigilance there.
Yeah, and I think that was the only real play this turn out of his hand. He's got a lot of heavy cards in his hand. Next turn he'll have the Vader though, so looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is looking. I think this is exactly where Kira wants to be right now. But I mean, Sabe is going to get to look at the hand and take something out of it. Plo Koon
And I
cleaning
bet
up the
the
cat.
Vader's
I mean,
about to go bye-bye.
this is a good comeback from Sabe here. But I mean, there's a Palps return to just get it back.
I think you probably end up taking the Palps return. That's the second one in the discard pile, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
He's just gonna hit it with Vader.
Palps return is just cheaper Vader. So if you're gonna take the Vader, you just take the Palps return instead.
Yeah.
It's fair. It also takes away flexibility should he not
He
play.
takes the
He
Vader.
pointed at the Vader. Interesting.
Okay.
We'll see if it matters. Cheaper Vader is not necessarily the way. That gives him an option to use Kira's ability next turn.
Exactly. He could go into a ground sentinel and then still have one resource up to Kira shield it, because Palps return does make the Vader cheaper. So it's only 6 resources to bring back the Vader. But also Palps return lets him do anything else that works too. Maybe Cad Bane is more useful, or any other unit from his discard is more useful, and it gives him that option.
Looks like he has a Bane in his hand too.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wait, so did it get swapped, or did he just top deck another?
No,
he discarded the Vader. He didn't discard the Palps return.
Got it.
Oh, for the Plo Koon to have coordinate, he has to play another unit, and then he can use that one resource to Kira shield the Vader to protect it from the Plo Koon. So the Sabe decision to take the Palps return really could come back to hurt him. The Han goes into Vader, so that part is going okay. And now Spy can clean up the Death Trooper, and you're back to, at least the resource didn't matter. So that decision ended up not being an issue.
We're just getting a 5 to base there.
Just 1 to base. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Going into the 6 and 7 resource turn, respectively, for Sabe and Kira, getting closer and closer to that Super Laser Blast and Avenger area. 1 Super Laser Blast is in the discard already.
So, Kyle, what are your thoughts on the Spy not taking out the Death Trooper there?
I feel like I definitely would have taken care of the Death Trooper, trying to keep Plo Koon on the board. Although in this case, with a timely CAD, they're both going to be removed. Yeah, we needed to play a little bit of control there, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And I think sorry. So the CAD ambushes into the Spy. Plo only had 2 health left, so CAD kills. So yeah, CAD has no damage on him.
Yep.
So where these Spies can just get mowed down by the Death Trooper, but also Kira might just start going base, saying you have 3 less health than I do, and I have power on board as well.
Speaking of how cool Faith in Your Friends is, it helps you filter your deck as well in certain situations. We just see that top deck into a Spark to be able to disclose. And now you get to get some real hand knowledge, right? You're going to be able to do either a Spark combo with the Stolen Star Path unit, or your combined knowledge of what's already in their hand. You're going to be able to create spies from this turn. And I think that Faith in Your Friends really did open up a new avenue of being able to limit what's in their hand as well.
Yeah.
All right, 1 resource left. We'll decide if we want to use Kira on the CAD, because I assume the Falcon will still attack. There's another Super Laser Blast.
So I think you got to get
bad, because if you take that, there's still Devastator. But if you don't take that, like right now, I don't think Kira wants to play Super Laser Blast because they're not behind on board.
Yeah, that's true. And Devastator is tough to deal with outside of bouncing for Sabe.
Yeah. Ooh, takes the Hyperspace Disaster. Okay, so that tells me the Sabe player wants to go with a space line with his hauler and try to close out the game that way.
Yeah, and we know they've got the Stolen Star Path unit as well, so I think they just want to keep that online for the future then.
Yeah, I mean, Super Laser Blast kind of does the same thing, although I guess it does clear, the Kira's side of the board. It's a surprising choice to me.
Yeah, my thought was that it was between the Super Laser Blast and the Devastator, but going for the Hyperspace Disaster. A lot of confiscates coming in from Kira. This going back to Sabe just generating bad luck for your opponent.
We just drew another Devastator. We're not at 10 yet, are we, for the Kira player? We at 9
Or
with one
9,
ramp?
yeah.
I think we're at 9. So we might see a Super Laser Blast just because I know Devastators are coming later.
The Sabe player drew another Spark. If he sparks here immediately, he can prevent that from happening.
It's very telling that that Kira is saying my Death Trooper does not need to kill spies anymore. Because I think I think he just wants to get Sabe to 20 damage on base, and then you can play Devastator and say if this ever attacks you, I win.
Agreed,
So we see
yeah.
here going with the unit that can attack first, and sadness resolves for the Sabe player, seeing 2 Devastators.
Well, here's another interesting fact here is that if you take Super Laser Blast and then put the Star Path unit on the Falcon, you could then create 2 spies from the Devastator.
That is true. I mean, you can't just completely blank Kira's turn. I guess they would pass to try to confiscate the stolen Star Path unit.
Yeah, the problem is Jeff's point. CAD's going to hit here and put you to 21. Next turn, you're going to see a Devastator. So that puts you on a 2-turn clock.
Challenge,
potentially.
Yeah.
Free to base, bringing Kira to 20. Does end up going for that Devastator. Replaces the Falcon. Another 3. Pretty desperate.
Knowing that he's seen the clock now, you got to really push hard.
Yeah.
So now he's calling Devastator, making 1 instead of 2.
Yeah, it's interesting to take the Devastator there when your goal was to do the stolen Star Path unit play.
Yeah, I think you might want to take the Blast there. Because right now I have a lot of
2 Devastators.
Yeah, exactly. Sabe is presenting 8 here, which is 1 shy of lethal. A lot of pumps in this deck, obviously.
Yeah, the Kira has to think, do I just blast and reset and I Devastator next turn, or do I Devastator now and put the clock on?
I think the move is
his mind to bounce the Falcon, it looks like. He has 1 already tapped for the Falcon and then took it back to his hand.
I mean, he does have lethal with all of his units on board. Obviously, he could trade back with the spy, but what, 4, 7, 8, 9's exact lethal, right? Okay, so if he attacks
he can only trade with the Death Trooper. So yeah, he attacks with the Death Trooper first, and now Sabe's got to. I mean, we see the capture ship that can capture the Inferno 4, but that is a very temporary solution to a very big problem that Sabe is trying to deal with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, with lethal removed, we just slam that Devastator, right? I guess we take damage.
I like attacking with the CAD because now you're saying everything is... Oh, he attacks CAD into the spy. Interesting. So maybe just saying that this Devastator is going to win me the game as long as I don't lose it another way. But there could be some merit to CAD attacking base and saying every unit I have is lethal. I have Devastators, but it doesn't have to be that.
See a Blaster swinging in for 4.
Yeah.
So now Surprise Strike is lethal. Next turn, obviously.
Yeah, and I think the big card that Kira was worried about was Waylay. If you put all your eggs in the Devastator basket and then get waylaid. But now there's only 1 resource up, so you could Devastator the spy token and just be fairly safe.
The one thing there to think about is breaking in. That's only a 2 buff, though.
Yeah, breaking in wouldn't be lethal, so you're okay there. And then you just attack with the Devastator for the win. But he opts for the Super Laser Blast.
Huh.
And then shield.
Very conservative, very conservative. I wonder what he was worried about there. But he played the Devastator and killed the last unit on the ground. Wouldn't that have been
I don't think there's any punish for that because even if
Yeah.
the next turn there's a waylay, you just replay the Devastator, kill his other ground unit. It would have to be like double waylay plus Falcon was the only way you get punished there.
Mhm.
Third Falcon hits the floor.
Now he has to okay, he has the power there. So still like, just not wanting to commit all the resources for Devastator.
What?
There's a Snoke.
Ah, man. A surprise strike would be it right here. Yikes.
The surprise strike's only 4 right now. Because that's
2, 3, 4,
Snoke
5.
in play.
Oh, 1. Yeah, -1. You're right. You're right. Very, very conservative play by this Kira player here.
Yeah. Not attacking, so he
Well, the Snoke
could
is
have
lethal.
built a Falcon. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
that's
the
true.
handshake.
No. So yeah, Kira does see it out. Some very conservative, very interesting lines by both players there in terms of where the attacks went, order of cards played. But yeah, Kira takes it down, moves on to the top 4 here.
Yeah, very interesting deck. Obviously, we saw that judge call earlier in game 2. Glad to see that didn't have a massive impact and influence on these results here. Great set of games from what we saw as we joined late. But Sabayello having a great day, great pilot, some really interesting tech. That Impropriety Among Thieves is going to be a
Oh
card.
yeah, I love it. Yeah, because you
water cooler this week.
Yeah, you get initiative and you say, I trade my little ship for your big ship. I love that.
Yeah. And to be fair, right? Like everybody, no one knows the exact details of every card, especially when we're talking about a seldomly played double yellow card that literally no one ever plays. So you can't really put too much pressure on yourself and give yourself too hard of a time from that perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of just like early Change of Heart, right? Change of Heart's always been a very effective card throughout the history of the game. But this one comes out 2 turns faster.
Yeah, could be good, right? A little bit of a commandeer vibe as well. So great first entrance into this top cut. We have top 4 and final coverage coming your way. We'll have backup tables, feature tables, got Rebel Traitor on commentary next round. I'll be back for the finals. A great day of casting. We started off with me and Jeff early on. Really appreciated you to come hang out and fill in for me as I had a little something pop up. Great day overall, and I'm excited to see how this PQ ends up at Boars Hat Gaming in Elgin, Illinois.
Welcome back, Star Wars Unlimited fans. We are here with a top 4 of the Elgin, Illinois PQ at Boar Hat Gaming. I'm Jeff Creasy from the Bothan Network, and I am here with Bruce, aka Apex One. How you doing, Bruce?
Pretty good, man. Thanks for letting me come on, bro. Uh, looks like it's been a pretty eventful day. I've been kind of
Oh yeah,
following along as I could, and wow,
yeah,
absolutely, man.
yeah. It's been a wild day, and here for our main matchup, we've got actually both decks that we saw last round. So we've got this Cad Tarkentown by Carlos, aka Yoda Killer from the Bothan Network, and we've got the Kira Data Vault. So what do you think about this matchup?
I when I first started, the Ed Tarkentown deck really attracted me, so I know that one pretty well. And ironically, I just saw the Mystic Monastery deck going around. That got me pretty good at a Jersey PQ when I was at
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's the same fella that he was in a podcast about it. But I don't know how this one would play out. Because it's going to be, if he's able to pump a lot of units, quicker than CAD can clear them out. Tarkentown's only good one time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if Cad can close it out before Kira kind of shuts the door with all the big drops, like a Doctor Pershing. How aggressively do you think Cad is going to need to kill that Pershing to turn off the card draw, or do you kind of have to? Do you think you kind of need to say I let you have cards and get damage on base?
Oof. That's see, from where I if I was playing on the CAD side, I would want to be punching base.
Hmm.
Because I think I mean, I don't know the deck list, but I'd assume there's enough like surprises in there and quick strikes. Um, not really sure if he'd be worried too much about the card draw, because there's not a whole lot of units.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, me
Interesting. Well,
personally, I would just prefer to keep hitting base.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. It looks like Kira is starting with initiative. Or sorry, Cad is starting with initiative. But in this matchup, it doesn't. Well, with this version of Cad specifically, where you're on the double one drops, I don't think it really matters that much who has initiative.
Right.
Looks like Kira did pass. Carlos deciding to play the second one drop. So sometimes players claim there, but I think he's realizing that the only real turn one threat is a Pershing, and you just don't really care that much about pinging it specifically. So no plan to resupply. Carlos going to be able to get some damage in here. Going to hit for 5 with Greedo and the Guavan Antagonizer here. And then finishing up with a Nile Marauder. Really good in this matchup. Just a 1-5 raid 3. So attacks for 4. And Kira doesn't have a great way at the moment to take advantage of only getting hit back for 1. Could become a liability a little bit on the Kira flip, but really good right now. Just getting 4 attack in there for 3 resources. Also threatening the Kira. So if Kira flips, the Nile Marauder can just trade with her.
Pretty easily, yeah. Was
Oh, the Cad Bane. We've
Bane.
seen this Cad on Kira flip be so good before. And yeah, here it's going to be able to take it. Oh, no, it can't take out the Marauder. It has 5 health.
Yep.
So Marauder is still going to get to take out this Kira. Assuming that's what Carlos wants to do. He has options. He could obviously just go base. Cad can kill either Greedo or the Guavan Antagonizer. Opting to just take out the more damage. The difference here is that if Greedo had hit there, then the Guavan Antagonizer could have taken out Kira
Mm.
and hit base for more. But Greedo doesn't hit. He doesn't hit very often in this deck. There's a lot of units. So what do you think here? What do you think Carlos should attack here? Do you think you have to clear the Kira, or do you just push more damage?
I think you definitely got to get rid of the Kira.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, especially because the Marauder only hits back for one, so it basically would let Kira clean up your whole board. If
Right.
Carlos has a Forlom, he could do that to keep his Marauder around.
Oh, looks like he's checking the resources right now.
He might have a Blaster, and you could Blaster the Antagonizer. But yeah, the Nile Marauder into Kira looks pretty clean at first glance. But I
Yeah.
don't hate playing it and then just not ambushing if it is a Forlom. Oh, he's just gonna Tarkin Town the cat. Okay, I don't hate this either because he still has the Tarkin Town up. So this is gonna let his whatever he has for 4 resources be unimpeded.
Hmm. Okay. Yep. He had the Forlom.
Yeah, so he does play the Forlom here, and so that makes me think that maybe he has a Zuckuss as well and wants it to be larger.
Yep.
But he is running a little bit into Power of the Dark Side territory here with just the Forlom by himself.
Right. Kind of hard to see. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, we do see the power come out. But Zuckuss by itself isn't bad either. And okay, we see the Reckless Gunslinger here, just 1 damage to each base. Little power protection. Death Trooper going to clean that up really nicely, though.
Hmm.
Now the Cad Ping does get to kill the Death Trooper. Stolen Hauler was isolated from another power for a second, but now opened up to another one. We'll see if Kira has that follow up though, because honestly, the Hauler is a little bit hard for Kira to deal with. They've started running takedown again a little bit, but you obviously don't want to no Gloria Hauler, and it can be hard to hit with power. Except in this case, a second power would be good, but I don't see a second power in hand right now. Oh, Timely, the
Oh.
devastating gunship.
Oh.
Okay, I like this a lot. So now you get 4 damage, and then you activate the Wind Plate of Gunship to say, oh, your Hauler only has 2 health left, so now it dies. So you're left with a gunship with 4 damage on it, which hits for a lot,
Right,
and
I
a
was
dead Hauler that you can now replay back onto your side.
gets his
Oh,
Zuckuss out.
yeah. Zuckuss is good there. You had to play an Underworld card that action because you can't let Kira play the Hauler and have something to absorb the pings.
Right.
And Carlos choosing not to flip there. So this tells me that he has some things that he wants to plot. He might have a couple of sudden ferocities or a Garandan, and he says, I want to flip my Cad when I have more resources available to pump in some damage.
Yeah. Still not a whole lot. I mean, that's a good hit right there, but
Yeah. Yeah, so both players just attacking back and forth. And I want to see if Carlos flips here. If he
I didn't really
has
get
something
what he has.
like a Ferocity and a Blaster and a Garandan, he might want to wait until 8 so he can do that all and check for something like a Rival's Fall.
Yep. Hmm.
Mist Hunter here. Still going to need 1 more ping and something like the Mist Hunter attack to try to get back this Hauler. We see Vader coming out. So can he hit another Death Trooper to kill this Zuckuss outright? We've already seen 1 played.
Let's see.
I don't see a Death Trooper. I don't think I see anything. Yeah, nope, nothing. Wow, the Vader whiff. You don't see that
Yeah,
often.
that was a tough strikeout.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So whose spot do you like better right now? I feel like it's kind of even. Cad still hasn't flipped yet, but where do you think if there was an advantage bar by one of these players, who do you think is winning right now?
I still like CAD. I still don't know the deck list, but I'm assuming it still has a lot of smaller units. So even
Yeah,
as it
it's a
gets
1-drop
early-
Cad. He has 15 in the main
oh
deck.
yeah. So he should be able to, hopefully, I don't know if he could hold out long enough for them big ships before them big ships start coming in. But hopefully keep up a board state to where he has to keep using a lot of resources to clear that board so that avoids many little hits because they add up. They
Oh,
add
yeah.
up quick, especially with like hot shot blasters and stuff like that. I think that's a sudden ferocity. I think he just put down.
Oh yeah.
Didn't take any time to think about that in row. Yeah, so looks like one part of the puzzle's coming together.
Yeah, interestingly, Kira didn't ambush the Vader. Would have left the Zuckuss with 1 health and the Vader with 1 health. Obviously, 1 health units are kind of a liability against CAD.
Y-
Gives the
Yeah,
Zuckuss free roam to hit again.
Yeah.
So the Mist Hunter goes down, but just popped the shield. So the Stolen AT Hauler still has 2 health left.
Yeah, it's taking pretty good advantage of that guy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Carlos only at 7 resources, so we can't see something like a double Ferocity Garandan flip, but we could see that there are a lot of options that we could see. CAD unit is not in the main deck; it's only in the sideboard, so we won't see that here.
Okay.
I wonder if Kira is going to be trying to shield this Vader to get in the 5 hit without taking 6 back fully.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little scary. 18 damage. What
Yeah.
is that?
Waylay on the Stolen AT Hauler so that Carlos can replay it, deciding he doesn't want to try to get in the last 2 damage to it and just wants to bring it back to his hand himself.
That makes sense. Oh,
The just the naked reinforced OB, that's a good one.
hey. And 18 Hauler comes back down.
Yeah, and I'll get to CAD ping again. But I still feel like Carlos isn't going to want to flip this turn because he wants to play those sudden ferocities. One
Right.
other thing that he can do, though, is he can play the sudden ferocities on his Stolen AT Hauler or on his Zuckuss. He doesn't have to play them on the CAD.
Right. For a really solid hit somewhere where he's not controlling at the moment.
Yeah, because the OB right now, while it is good, it's not going to clear the whole board in one action. He might OB or yeah, just attack into the Zuckuss and then OB to kill the Hauler.
Yeah.
This could be the time to flip here, though. Just going in for 4, I like that too. So I was gonna say he could flip and an OB. He would have to OB the reinforcement walker to kill CAD, and the Hauler gets in.
21.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Just poking and prodding, saying you have to do something. You have to spend your resources. I won't. I need to know if you have 5 up for an OB or 6 up for a rival's
Yeah,
fault. So Carlos is playing the
exactly.
3 ones.
Oh.
Devastator is tough here. Because this kind of frees Carlos up to flip this turn. He might flip now, and the OB is going to hurt next turn. But right now, I think he's going to get in a big hit here. Yeah, double sudden ferocity out. So yeah, play 1, replace it. Play 1, replace it.
Yep.
So this is going to hit for 10. OB is going to clear the board, though.
Man, it just puts a lot more still keeps applying the pressure, but then we still got some big units out. This might be.
I think Carlos loses this turn, though, because the OB on Devastator kills everything, and then there's more than 15 damage on board for Kira. So it looks like with the OB that we've seen. And yeah, that is the OB clear the board.
Looks like that's definitely going to be.
Yeah, Carlos is dead just to the space arena right now.
Yeah.
So if he has another Waylay or No Good to Me Dead for this Devastator,
just doesn't look like
he's still dead. He'd have to have 2 pieces of interaction. Because Forlom killed a reinforcement walker. But now both of these other units are lethal. Because he takes 12 here. If it was only 10, then the Hauler wouldn't be lethal. But yeah. Yeah, going to game 2 here. So I think well played by Kira. It looked like Carlos had an opening there, but that OB really slamming the door shut.
Yeah, it took everything right off the table.
Mm-hmm.
Do wonder. I didn't. I thought he was going to hold out little bit longer. Like you had mentioned, a little bit longer for that flip.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. That was like the one time where he was probably going to get the damage in before, and then try to get something to take care of what just came down.
Yeah. Trying to look through the list to see what this Kira has in the sideboard. So this Kira is very tech for control. We see Bounty Hunter's crew in the main deck along with a restock. So a lot of dead cards that are coming out. There's one Snoke main deck, a second one in the board. Would imagine those come in.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think only two Darth Vaders in the deck and 3 Timelies. But I think a lot of this comes down to can they flip with Cad Bane? We saw the Nile Marauder was really good against that.
Super cool.
But it's just such a big difference for Kira when they flip with it versus without it. Cad Bane gets access to some more top end. This is where you want to bring in like your sneak attack devastators so that you can try to wait for Kira to tap out for something that isn't a large space sentinel and say, okay, I can deal 12 damage with this sneak attack devastator, or sorry, 13 damage.
No problem.
Yeah, so a lot of bursts coming in, but the problem is this Cad Bane deck doesn't have a lot of card draw, so it's not very consistent. But when it lines up, it's a lot of damage.
Yeah, if you get it. Should be fun to watch again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that that damage counter. You said that was from the store? That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool.
I was trying to tell my buddy what it looked like. I was like, it almost looks like Apple made it.
Yeah, right. It's the new Apple Square.
Yeah. I mean, I would pick one up if they put them out on the market. I would glad one of those immediately.
Yeah. So what do you think Carlos needs to do differently in this game too to bring it back? Do you think he needs to just go a little bit faster, or does he need to get a little bit more top end out of the board and find a little bit more of a heavy hitter?
A heavy hitter will help close the game in a little faster. It's hard to say. Like I said, if you loading up the board, you making the Kira player think more. There's too many options. It gives them more of an opportunity to, potentially make the wrong call.
Yeah.
So that's typically why my brain tends to go to that. Which just comes with being faster too. If I can get 3-4 hits in a turn, that's kind of big. But I can't ever say I was too good myself in this matchup. So
Fair.
yeah, take that with a grain of salt. That's just what my brain says. Doesn't mean it cooperates properly.
Yeah, we see the Pershing start from Kira and then into 2-3-1s from Carlos. This is exactly what both players want to start. And now we'll see what we talked about before with, because Carlos has a couple of options here. He can Tarkin Town the Pershing, he can attack the Pershing for 3 to save his Tarkin Town, or he can completely ignore it.
Looks like
He goes 3 to base here. I mean, he still has the all the options. He could still attack the Pershing with Greedo potentially. And yeah, so he does save that. I like this a lot. I think you have to get the card draw off the table, and it's nice to save your Tarkin Town for something else. Could be a devastating gunship or some other unit that you want to be able to kill.
Yeah, that does make a lot more sense.
You know that means that there's not going to be a Kira flip into CAD, which is nice to know.
That's definitely good to know.
Yeah, so Kira killing their own super laser tech, saying, "Fine, you won't do it. I'll do it myself."
Yep.
Now this might be where the pass game comes in, because Kira doesn't want her Kira just to die. Carlos hasn't spent any resources yet, so probably at least play a guy. And it wouldn't surprise me if this Nile Marauder just doesn't attack because you don't want to give Kira a free flip.
Absolutely.
If he attacks with it, that signals to me that he has a forlom that he's totally fine trading into the Kira. So we might see
Absolutely.
another pass even if he attacks this Nile Marauder into base. Really interesting options here at the end of this turn.
Okay. Maybe he has it.
Carlos took the deliberation. Now Kira takes the deliberation. It's one of the reasons I like the extended time in Top Cut because these decisions really matter a lot. Oh, I thought the camera was frozen. It's not. He's just thinking.
He's really pondering this one. Okay, he claims.
Interesting to claim instead of pass there. You might be able to bait Carlos into not playing something. Carlos might also just not have anything. Yeah, we see just a reckless gunslinger here anyway. So not the strongest of 4 resource turns, but his first 2 turns were so good that it's still, probably fine.
Build up, yeah. Without wasting an ambush in hand.
Yeah. Yeah, he might have had the Forlom and still just want to save it because the Forlom will die to the Kira CAD combination.
Absolutely.
So he might just be saying, all right, if he's not flipping Kira, he's waiting until next turn to try to get something, so I'm just not going to give him a good target for it.
Yes, sir.
Kira's the one that has to do something because this is a lot of damage coming in.
Oh.
Vader, you really need to find something like a Death Trooper here to take one of these 3-1s off the board. You at least get to kill the Nile Marauder. He does find the Death Trooper. So I'd imagine we're going to ambush the Nile Marauder and Death Trooper kill probably the Stormtrooper. Just in case Greedo hits.
Absolutely.
And this is where it could become relevant that Carlos still has his Tarkin Town as well.
True. Very true.
Yeah, he puts both damage on Vader. So if Carlos just plays an Underworld unit, you might force the Kira flip. But Kira is uncontested without the Marauder anyway. So yeah, and the Death Trooper does take out the Death Star Stormtrooper, so not leaving anything to chance with the Greedo attack. I definitely agree with that. Because if Greedo were to hit, you could just hit and Tarkin Town the Vader now before Kira gets the chance to flip and heal it back up.
We got some more thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, tough spot. Still only 5 resources. So the double ramp from Kira, meaning that Carlos still isn't on his flip turn, even though there's a Vader on the board.
Yeah, this is just a tough spot in general. I mean, he cleaned it up well.
Yeah, definitely cleaned it up well. Attacking with the Reckless Gunslinger for 2, so leaving up the possibility that if you flip Kira, maybe Greedo takes it out. You could also just throw Greedo into Vader after the flip and then be able to Tarkin Town it.
Yep.
I think there was a pass from Kira there. Looks like they're still thinking, deliberating.
Well, he has full resources over here.
The damage is stacking up though, for sure.
Quickly, okay.
Yeah, I like this a lot because now you could CAD ping or you could wait, but you still have Forlom resources up, so you've added to the board and you're still making Kira not just be happy about slamming a flip.
A lot of thought going into this.
Yeah. I'm not sure who the action is on, if they're waiting for Kira to pass or Carlos to decide if he's playing something after the pass. I think
Okay.
Kira might have claimed. Yeah, the claim there is it really lets Carlos clean up this board. If it was a claim, because now you get to Tarkentown the Vader to finish it off, and Kira can't flip. So
Yep.
yeah, so Kira there was really scared, I guess, of CAD claiming if they passed, and really got punished. So the forlom was pretty telegraphed, and it seems like trying to play around the forlom played into it even more.
Yeah. Yeah, it did not work out. And she was just held hostage. Yeah, this is looking pretty good over here for Carlos.
Yeah, even if you Kira into CAD, that just kills the forlom. Um, you're still going to get in at least 5 damage if Kira gets to clean up another unit before they both attack, and CAD
Right.
still gets to flip this turn.
Ugh.
So we're at a point if we're in another, double sudden ferocity or sudden ferocity plus blaster type situation, I think Carlos might be able to close it out very quickly.
Absolutely.
We
And
could be
Hero's action, yeah.
Yeah, so Kira's
Oh,
they're both deciding on their resource. Kira should be at 8, so in super laser blast range. And if you have it, you might just have to fire that off. It looks like that's we get
Yep.
to the super laser blast. And the problem with CAD versus Kira here is if you flip CAD first, Kira gets to kill it. So
Yep.
CAD can get 1 attack off.
Looks like his damage counter is dead.
Yeah, I think it turned itself off. It was at 19.
19,
But
yep.
yeah, it might have just died completely. So that we may have a brief break. Yeah, so they're just bringing another one. So yeah, he was at 19, he's still at 19. So the damage numbers stayed the same.
Perfect.
Yeah, CAD doesn't have a good way or any way in this list to heal himself or protect himself. You don't have anything like a jetpack or anything like that to protect yourself from the Kira flip. So
Right. I'm just gonna we just want to get some more units out on the board and keep the pressure up.
yeah. And we're in another spot here where I think Kira is deciding if they want to pass or claim, because Carlos could just claim if you pass again and say, "All right, I'll take the initiative or take the initiative and hit you for 2." I think as Kira here, you just claim.
Oh.
Wow, flipping the Kira here. I would have thought Kira would have held the flip. Um,
Yeah,
but I
nothing to
think
back her up.
maybe signifying that there's an OB on the horizon. So yeah, this is an interesting read. If you read OB, do you ever just flip CAD and attack the Kira? You're playing so hard into a second super laser blast.
Yeah. No, that's a tough call. Losing CAD, such a big unit to the OB sucks. He's got him
Well,
up
if
to
you
20.
you can't flip CAD right
He
now,
get
because if you flip CAD now, Kira attacks the CAD. Well, Kira attacks the CAD, and then you just claim and you kill
right.
Kira with the reckless gunslinger. So if you're worried about exactly OB, you can play around that. I think Carlos claimed, and Kira kills the reckless gunslinger. So yeah, we're seeing the late flip from CAD again. But really still has 13 damage to do. So not that close to the finish line.
It's quite
Yeah,
a bit.
Boba just cleaning up the Kira now. So you're safe from OB, but now you're more open to your Power of the Dark Side type effects. And then I think Kira might have passed into a Forlom.
Yep. Yeah, there's a forlom out there. Here's really trying to figure out. Yep.
No glory on the Forlom. but still 3 up. So you still have to worry about a power. But I would be shocked if Carlos flipped here anyway, because he wants to spend his resources on the plot cards, and he's shown in game 1 that he's fine just flipping later, and when he has a chance to make sure his flip is very impactful.
Absolutely. Oh. What are we gonna see?
Yeah, a lot of tough resourcing decisions by both players, because there's a lot to think about and a lot to go through.
Okay, I thought I saw him play a card.
Ooh,
I didn't
Snoke
realize.
is
Ugh,
yeah, Snoke
that's
is rough.
brutal.
He does specifically say non-leader, but if your cat isn't protected from power of the dark side, we could be in the same spot we were in last game, where he flips, gets in a lot of damage, and then loses right after that.
Immediately. And this is hard with so many small units.
Yeah. I see a sneak attack in Carlos's hand, but I don't see the Devastator yet. So he might be just trying to stall to get that in.
Let's check and row.
He only has a couple of his 1-drops that survive Snoke. He has the Guavin Antagonizer. That's a 2/3, so that would survive at least, to give him a little bit of power of the dark side insulation. But I would imagine he doesn't have that, or it would be no plot. So he doesn't have the sudden ferocity this time. No Garandan. Let's see if he has a blaster to at least get 6 damage in instead of 4. He could also have a surprise strike. He's playing 2 of those.
Really figuring out here.
See a lot of events in his hand. I think one is sneak attack. I can't tell what the other 2 are. I think they might be 2 surprise strikes.
Really wants to maximize the damage right now.
Yeah.
Do we think he should be more concerned with getting Snoke out of there?
That's a good question. Based on what's in his hand, I'm not sure, because I didn't see any of the small units in his hand, so I think you just go to base. So you're obviously very weak to. Oh, and the waylay for the Snoke. So that was the other event was a waylay.
Okay.
So waylay for the Snoke, and you just know here that power of the dark side is going to kill my leader, and you're just kind of accepting that.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a way to play around it based on what we saw in his hand, because he.
Right.
And he might have also had a hotshot blaster, and he might have been debating if it was better to blaster or surprise strike plus waylay.
Yeah, I think the waylay was definitely right.
Yeah. You want to make them recommit these resources, because you assume they have to do something else to kill Cat anyway, because the Snoke doesn't do it.
Oh. Okay, we'll heal up.
Interesting. What's this? You're just milling 6?
Yeah. Oh, there goes. Oh, doesn't matter. He's already out.
So he sees the second surprise strike. So now he knows there's no more surprise strikes, because the player saw the list. So if he was keeping track, he knows that Carlos is out of surprise strikes. So when you're doing the math, you don't have to worry about that. But it's interesting here to just do the heal 5.
Oh, we do have the hot shot though.
Yeah. So I think Carlos is very surprised that his cat has lived to attack twice.
Agreed.
Honestly, I am too.
Same. And Kira claims. Regroup.
Oh, there's the Devastator. So we know he has a sneak attack in hand. So now he has the sneak Devastator. So now he's hoping that Kira has to do something like a super laser blast, spend a lot of resources just to kill this CAD. He doesn't want 10 cost Devastator because that's a Space Sentinel. And that also stops the Devastator from attacking.
Yeah.
But if he gets 1 more damage in, something like a Reckless Gunslinger, the Devastator is lethal just with the When Played ability.
Absolutely. think we saw them resource already.
Carlos deciding if he wants to resource up to 7. If he doesn't, he can't Devastator this turn because the Sneak Devastator is still 7 resources. Oh, no, sorry. He is at 7.
Oh, another Vigilance.
The Vigilance heal mill again.
He's making sure.
Well, he's healing 5, but then taking 6. So now this Devastator is lethal whenever it comes down. So if Carlos attacks here, there has to be another heal, or Sneak Devastator kills him with the 4 indirect damage.
We got another life counter down.
The less relevant life counter is down though.
Yeah, fair. 100%. Yeah.
He could play
The
another
OG.
blaster here.
Yep.
It's interesting to what he might be considering trying to not have the Devastator be lethal this turn.
Yeah, this is.
I think he's just saying if Kira claims he gets that. Yeah, so Kira claimed, and
Yep.
then the Sneak Lurking Tie is lethal. So Carlos takes game 2. We saw a sideboard coming in clutch there. The Sneak Devastator would have been lethal. The Lurking Ties are also from the board. Yeah, Sneak Lurking Tie getting the job done there. So well played by
Absolutely.
Carlos to navigate around that. It was looking pretty rough when the Snoke was down the board.
Yeah, I was really wondering. I was like, oh, I don't know really how to get around that. But yeah, you did it pretty well, pretty clean. And just filled the board right back. Well, took control of the board immediately after.
Yeah, it also goes to
With
show. I
just
think
a
a
savior.
lot of people when they play, they say, "Oh, I never flip into an open board because I just lose to Power of the Dark Side." And I think Carlos rightly recognizing that he loses if he doesn't flip there.
Right.
If there's whatever happens, he loses if he doesn't flip there and get in the damage while he can. And just saying, yeah, I can't play around Power of the Dark Side because I lose otherwise. So if you have it, you have it.
And luckily it worked out.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like any more sideboarding took place, right? Looks like they're sticking with what they have in there. Couldn't really see.
Yeah, I think that doesn't happen as much with this game because initiative. It just you see that a lot with Magic the Gathering, right? Where people say, "Oh, if I go first, I board this way. If I go second, I board this way." I don't usually see that as much with this game.
Fair. Both life
So yeah,
counters
yeah. So yeah, from Cad's side, we'll have to see if he can get off to as good of a start as he did again. Just 6 power on turn 1 into into the Marauder on turn 2, just constantly threatening the Kira flip. And from Kira's side, we'll have to see that. I mean, they went Pershing into resupply, but they didn't have the best follow up after that.
Right.
Yeah, and they didn't have the best Kira flip, so we'll have to see if they can. Let's see if they can clean up the mid game a little bit.
Yeah, still figuring out some resources.
Yeah, early decisions are pretty pivotal.
Absolutely.
The CAD has to get off to a good start here, I think.
There we go.
Well, 3-1, the start they want.
Ready with an Obean.
Does he like what's on top? Keeps both on top.
Okay.
Interesting. And then, yeah, I was going to say, I assume you would Tarkin Town this just to get it out of there, and you have a lot of space units you want to play.
That was a quick decision.
Into the resupply. So similar start from Kira that we've seen before. Now, does Carlos have the Nile Marauder? No, he goes with the Mist Hunter. So this could might be part of why he wanted to just clear the Inferno 4 out.
Keep this guy out there.
Yeah. It's also kind of tempting when your opponent keeps both cards on top because you know that they're not changing, they're not getting any new better cards.
Yep, and there's the Kira with the CAD.
Yeah, Kira with the CAD, only doing 1 damage to Carlos's remaining units because the Mist Hunter gets 2 damage on it and then dies to the CAD. But with no Nile Marauder, now he's gonna need to get a Forlom to kill this. Yeah, we do see the Forlom, and then CAD ping after to get 1 on the CAD Bane. So yeah, I think this Cad Bane is going to be able to do some cleanup though, because you can take out the Guavan and then still not be dead to a Cad ping. So I think this the Kira side Cad Bane might be able to put in some work to stabilize.
Let's see.
Wow, straight into the OB. So doing work, clearing everything, it seems. And then, yeah, drawing a card from the Guavan bounty. Now this puts Carlos.
There's resources there.
Let's see, a surprise strike on punishing ones. Yeah, there's the Reckless Gunslinger.
Looked like there might have been another one in there. I don't know.
Kira can't pass up 6 to base just to kill a 2/1. Yeah, also this lets him shield, which is nice, but shield probably going to get pinged off pretty quickly anyway. This is where something like a McClunky could be good, where McClunky pings the shield and then CAD kills the CAD unit before anything else happens.
Be pretty clean. Oh. Going right to base.
He could still have the McClunky and just say, "I'll take 4 damage on my base to deal 2 to yours." But yeah, interesting lines here. Zuckus. Okay, so playing a big guy, but you still have your power, insulation, and the Reckless Gunslinger. Also, the cat attack to base makes me think that there was not a power in hand, because that could be a good reason to kill the Reckless Gunslinger.
Absolutely.
So Carlos might have a read that there's just no power. And now he can just start with any Underworld card to kill Cad.
Let's see what he does first.
So Cad at 7. Cad has not flipped. And Kira has. So yeah, Stolen Hauler, Cad ping to clear the Cad Bane unit.
Get another.
Then we see a Snoke come down for 8. So we're in another spot here where he could take this as a sign to flip Cad and get in some damage. He might be worried about the Super Laser Blast follow-up. But I think you're also at 11 and you only have 25, so I think you can't afford to not flip here.
Yeah.
Now, does he have the sudden ferocity? It looks like he does. That's going to be big. Leader and the Stolen Hauler.
I mean, it's looking pretty deadly. We are pushing it.
Yeah.
And he did have a second one in the sideboard that I'm assuming is probably in. Might be worth it.
Oh, another rivals fall. That's
okay.
huge.
Even
That's
better.
huge. Yeah. Right now, Holler only attacks for 2, so you are badly losing the race to this Snoke. He is at
Yeah.
8, so he could just play the Devastator now.
Yeah, it's not looking very good for Carlos.
Even with the
Definitely.
Sneak Devastator, that's only 11. Yeah, only 11. So Sneak Devastator would win Carlos the game here if he gets this Holler attack in for 2 first. So I'm guessing he doesn't have that because he's not slamming it down.
Right. Takes the 6.
He may have the Devastator and is debating if he needs to try to hold out for the Sneak. Can't see exactly what's in his hand. I see a Sneak attack there. There's a Sneak Devastator. Is there an answer here? We see resources getting quickly tapped, but this is lethal on board if Kira doesn't have an answer right now. 4 damage indirect. The Devastator attacks for 7, taking you to exactly 33.
That's game.
So that's game. Yeah. Wow. The Sneak Devastator did it for Carlos, taking down Kira in 3 games. That was as tight as it could be.
I mean, wow, though. It was nice to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really cool seeing CAD come back in and really kind of do its thing.
Yeah, definitely. And interestingly there, if the play had been Super Laser Blast, Sneak Devastator still wins it because there's not enough resources for a Power of the Dark Side, and the Devastator attacks for 2 more. So even if your play was Super Laser Blast, Carlos had that covered as well.
Yeah, really. I mean, he had me fooled in the last half there. He really was. He didn't look too sure, you know?
Yeah.
So I was definitely feeling like a secondhand anxiety, like, oh man, what are we going to do, bud? We're drowning a little bit. So it was really cool. I think they both played a pretty good game. There, like you said, there were a couple of weird lines. But who am I to say anything? Seems like the shop did everything pretty well. Looks like it was a pretty well ran PQ overall.
Yeah, it seems like it for sure.
That is a nice showcase though.
Yeah, so we're going here. There's a judge call going on in one of the other games right now. So we're looking at potentially getting a backup, but we're dealing with an ongoing judge call now about crate dragons and condemns and everything. So that's a fun one that apparently the judges are trying to figure out themselves.
Yeah, there was a tough one at a PQ in Clifton Park last week with condemn and a Poe. Because I think the problem that they've been running into is that the other part of the text on condemn says and loses all other abilities. So it's outside of like the quotations if I'm not mistaken. So in general it loses like just its abilities overall.
No, that is not correct. So they made an official ruling on it, which has been linked in Discord, that The Saboteur bypassing Sentinel still works because the unit has abilities until the attack starts.
Okay.
So yeah, there's all. It's very, in my opinion, poorly worded.
It's more of an on attack. Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean. Poorly
Yeah,
worded.
so everything about the card happens on attack. It's just kind of worded a little awkwardly about that.
Yeah, that is very odd. Yeah,
Yeah.
the judges called it one way, the player called it another, and the way they ended that was at least with the post situation was, how I said, and I was like, oh, okay, that must be how it is. I didn't know there was something official release. That's way better and easier to know. But yeah, the wording is
Yeah.
definitely off.
Oh yeah, the wording's definitely off, and it's tough sometimes with games like this, but where you the very helpful thing about this game is that we have the judge Discord where you can go and get those live ruling
Right.
updates. Um,
Definitely helpful.
but yeah, the official response here talks about where it says Saboteur bypassing Sentinels still works, but Saboteur defeating shields does not work. Restore and Raid don't work. Grit doesn't work. Overwhelm. Those are the easy. The Saboteur one is a little bit confusing, but it makes sense, I guess, when you think about it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And then it says after the attack is completed, the unit gets all of their abilities back. The effect that removes the abilities is only active during the attack. So yeah,
Okay.
super wonky one there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're moving here into our backup game where we have got Plot Chancellor Palpatine Data Vault against Hantu Blue Force.
Yeah, and it's looking a little tight.
Yeah, I was like, it looked. I thought it was a clear board, and then I saw the Devastator, and it's not a
Yeah,
clear
same.
board.
I was really looking, but he definitely wants to get the force for Churret.
Yeah, I'm curious. In this case, just a vanilla 5 attack unit, but still not bad.
Yeah, especially looking at 24. Then we got did he
Now
smuggle him up?
27, so smuggled Cassian coming in for 3 more. So there's lethal on the board this turn, but I would imagine this Chancellor has got a lot of options here. I think I see a Sly More in hand, which would reduce 4 of that damage. Probably a lot of other removal spells. I'm not sure what game we're on right now.
A little bit of a turnaround game too.
Laser Blast. Yeah, just blasting again. What's your rebuild this time, Han? How many? The nice thing is Han only spent 1 card from hand last turn with the Cassian coming from the row, so still has a decent amount of resources there in terms of cards in hand to rebuild the board with. And 2 more units coming out. Luke representing lethal by himself, along with some Power of the Dark Side protection. So Chancellor really needs a Sentinel here or something to prevent this this incoming damage. And if you Super Laser Blast again, then this Karis Nimic gets a Spy token, gets in for 2.
Yeah, this is real tough. I would assume Palp's flipped by this point. And
I would assume so. We don't see the marker, but I would guess that Palp is flipped. There's an Annihilator to kill all the Lukes.
Oh, that was a good pick.
Oh, taking another one from hand is huge.
Aggressive
Oh,
negotiations.
the aggressive negotiations anyway. So that's only no. There are 3 more, so that's 6.
Yep.
So yeah, aggressive gets it, but Palp fought hard there, but this Han was able to rebuild, keep all the cards in their hand, and then get lethal with the aggressive negotiations after getting a Luke discarded.
I really like the Han to Blue Force deck. I got to see it in action at the PQ in with Minnesota, where Carlos took it down.
Yeah.
And I was convinced after that, I was like, okay, it really does handle well into quite a few things. And
Hantu Blue shift over to the 30 and the more just straight value plan, and we've seen Force make a comeback in these last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, I have seen it quite a bit. I misread the cards earlier. That Obi Mystic Monastery deck that I was talking about.
Mhm.
And there's a yellow version as well, I believe. But it's almost like they took the idea from like Leia, when you get Leia in a limited pool. It feels good if you got a lot of
Yeah.
one drops. Yeah, it's almost like
Mhm.
they just took that idea and transferred it over to a little bit maybe I don't know about stronger, a little bit of a more useful wide range unit, where you don't have to disclose, just use a base that you constantly have the force with. But
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to just see a lot of it really showing up.
Yeah, definitely. So here we are going into game 3. Top 4 of the Elgin PQ at Elgin, Illinois PQ at Boars Hat Gaming. We know one of our finalists, so now we're gonna see who is Carlos gonna face in the finals.
Okay. Kind of hard to see his hand. Makes sense.
Yeah, so Hantu starting with the Force unit. A lot of these, I don't know about the Data Vault version, but a lot of these Chancellor Palpatine decks are running literal 0 turn 1 plays, where their only turn 1 option is activate Chancellor to draw a card. It's
And
pretty funny, but it works out because you just get so many cards in your hand. Because instead of spending one, you get one back. So now you just have all the options in the world.
and he played Sham literally, I assume, to get the force, instead of maybe. He's not really ramping, right?
Yeah, so well,
Possibly.
so I think he kept the Cham in case there was a resupply, and also we see another one in hand. But I think he's
Oh, I
just
did see
playing it
that
as a
one.
5 attack unit. He's saying here
Yeah.
you have to have another.
Archer.
Yeah, I think Han's goal here is to just say, okay, how many removal spells do you have? I'm going to try to take them out one at a time. But it's one of the benefits of this Chancellor Palpatine deck over something like Akira that he just naturally has so much card draw. He says, I can one for one you all day because I'm drawing so many extra cards. Like here, Chancellor just gets to
Absolutely.
draw another card. See what he gets. Some of these decks, especially the green ones, yeah, we see him. I was about to say some of these decks, and especially the green ones, are running really low on plot cards. So you do have a non-zero miss percentage here, and we just saw it there. It goes back to the deck construction, and it's there are mono blue versions with Colossus that play a lot more plot cards generally. I think a lot of the green lists, I haven't seen this one specifically, but a lot of the green lists only run about 9 plot cards.
Oh,
They're
okay.
just trying to be a control deck where they hopefully draw more. But yeah, we see a full grip of cards here.
Oh yeah.
There is the
Yeah.
resupply. after 2 champs come out, Han 2 has got to be fuming about this.
Yeah, it definitely feels bad. You missed the chance. But we're
Now,
still
is
cheating.
Chancellor going to find a plot card this time? Did he? Was there 5 or 6 cards in there? But either way, I think I saw a plot Palpatine uh, in that pile of cards there.
Well, I
He has
think
definitely has
there's
multiple options because he's deciding which one to take based on what he already has. So yeah, he does go
Yep.
for the Palpatine unit. So that's the one that when played, you get 2 spy tokens and they get Sentinel if your leader is deployed.
Yep.
And yeah, there's a little bit of glare on the Palpatine side, but we're trying our best to get through what's going on.
Absolutely.
Han's putting a lot of power on the board here. So we have Cham and Anakin and Han out. So 13 representing 13 damage on board.
Yeah, it's pretty big. He hasn't had the force yet, huh?
No, he's only been able to attack with Cham and Han, and neither of them are force units. Cham is a Twi'lek rebel, and this Han is just Underworld. They haven't printed the force sensitive Han yet. That's coming later.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we see two plots here: Sly Moore and the 4/6 Sentinel. So when Palpatine flips, you get to play your first plot card, or one of the plot cards gets costs 3 less. So he's playing 10 resources worth of cards for 7, and now anything that attacks a base gets -2 attack this turn. But there's also a giant Sentinel in the way, stopping you from attacking the base first.
And that Sentinel's giving back 4 damage. I think it takes out Cham.
Yeah, it doesn't take out the Anakin, which is why that one goes in first. And the force is gained now. And then, yeah, Palpatine does attack for 6. So he's a huge attacker there. And, Mace Windu coming in to finish off the Sentinel. I like that a lot. Now, do you just go to the base? Yeah, only for 3, because Sly Moore gives all units that attack a base -2. So Cham only attacking the base for 3 there. But you've regained your big board at least.
Absolutely. And that's while she's on the board, or is that for a phase?
No, just for that phase, yeah. So now units attacking base will attack normally, but for the phase when you play her, they get -2.
I think I see. Did I see a crate in there? No, maybe not. I see a Kiadi.
Yeah, I was trying to dig through the Palpatine's hand. There's so many cards in his hand.
I gave up looking at that one.
I mean, your leader ability draws a card, and then without spending any cards from hand, he just played 10 resources worth of cards on the flip turn. This leader is really cool. It's got a lot of cool applications, whether it be in green or mono blue that we've seen.
Yeah, the mono blue is just, it's grindy.
Oh yeah. To a lot of tough decisions. Both players have a lot of cards in hand, so there are a lot of decisions to make anyway. Is this looks like a super laser blast? Yeah.
That was probably not a bad play. He's really done a good job at pretty much denying him the force most of the game. That would have helped with Kiadi right there.
Yeah, we just saw Kiadi just go down as a 4/4 no force to draw cards, and I think that's the reason for the blast there. Just try to say I'm the only one that gets a bunch of cards in this game.
Yeah. Ah, man, that's unfortunate. It's not looking too hot. Oh, I do see a crate in hand. But
yeah, that can help. Yeah, I think you want to try to get in more. I mean, you can get the force here first, especially after they've already spent all their resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just throws the crate down. Interesting. My first thought was to attack with Kiadi first, because the big potential there is Power of the Dark Side, where you're sacking the Kiadi anyway.
Yep.
But no response, so it didn't matter in the end.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really gonna hurt him all that much to take care of that crate dragon. He's kind of lower on health.
Yeah, I mean, he's got. I can try to look and find the deck list, because I'm not sure the removal suite that this Palpatine's playing. So I'm not sure at the moment if they're on more Rivals Falls, Fell the Dragons, what their options even are in deck. Let me see if I can find the list. These lists are public now. This is I assume it's the only Palpatine Data Vault that made it. So they have Annihilator is a very painful one. There's 3 No Glories, 2 Rivals Falls, 2 Fell the Dragons. So Rivals Fall and Fell the Dragon are the main ways that I can see. We see the No Glory there. So he takes 5 to base, but does kill the crate.
Oh, he's got both.
We've had 1 crate, yes. What about second crate? Second crate also gets no gloried. Crates are not allowed any glory in this stream.
Oh my gosh. But Kiati survived it all, man. He's still
Yeah,
here.
Kiati's still there, and the No Glories did 10 damage to his base, so
Yeah.
he basically
That
got
was,
in one crate attack.
yeah.
And now I saw him put a Cassian in the row as well. It looks like there's a Karis Nimic in hand. Um, these Hans can actually do a cool play where you activate Han, play Karis Nimic, it dies immediately, but you get the readied spy token.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So it's a cool way for Han to close out the game if there's ever just 2 HP remaining on a base.
Well, they're thinking.
Oh, and that's huge. Well, I guess it's not that huge because you can still just sacrifice the Karis to the Avenger attack. So you're still going to be able to get your spy token.
Man. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Cassian
true.
coming in for 3.
And there's the third
There's the
crate
third
dragon.
crate.
Wow. That might be it. I bet he might slam that sucker here.
Yeah, because even if there's something like a super laser blast, he's going to get this readied spy token to attack up to 29.
And plus whatever that oh yeah, you have no choice. You'd be stuck, you'd have to play something.
Yeah, it's looking really good for Han here. The Palpatine's got to find something. We've seen 2 No Glories to deal with 2 crates. We've seen 1 super laser blast. He's got a lot of cards in hand, but does he have the right ones?
That's
see
where
something like
they get me stuck. Too much thinking.
yeah, if there's another Sly more, that would be good because that would give all the units, including the new spy token, -2 when they attacked.
Huh.
So that would save you a bunch of damage if you had a Sly more. Because even like an OB to kill the board, you're still gonna get hit with that spy token.
It is Han's action, I believe. No.
I believe it is Chancellor's action.
Yeah,
There's definitely a lot of options.
Yeah.
Yeah, OB doesn't clear the whole board. So OB would leave 1 health left on the Karis. And I think I do see that. Yeah, so there is an OB there. Doesn't it leave 1 health on the Karis? Am I crazy? He has 6 health. The OB should be for 10, right? Oh, no, sorry. Karis is a 3-2. Yeah, sorry. OB does clear the board. Reading is hard. But yeah, so OB clears the board, gives this readied spy, and we know that there is a crate dragon. But with the Avengers still around, you need something else to protect the crate as well. He might just play the crate now. It's really risky because any removal for the spy token, the Avenger kills the crate for free. But I think he has another Karis in hand potentially.
It's hard to
And with 0 damage on his base, he can tank a lot of these Avenger hits, so he doesn't have to worry about the damage here.
Oh
Second OB, 32 damage on base. So if there's, but the Avenger still has an attack, so I think he just plays the Nimic here. Yeah, so he plays the Nimic. Now Avenger can't attack. If Avenger attacks, then he gets a readied spy token. We saw the Mace Windu before that he showed. He didn't show the Karis, so we know he has the ability to disclose to this Karis again. So I think you have to claim here as Palp.
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, this is a wild one.
Claims somehow takes care of the Karis and the spy.
He is that maybe okay.
Yeah,
that is a legal play.
What did he do? I missed it.
He attacked with Avenger. So Karis was sacrificed to the Avenger, but there was still the Mace Windu in hand that was shown before. So he shows the Mace Windu, gets the spy token, and attacks for the last 2, and Han takes it down.
Well,
So yeah, the double Nimic being
really? Oh, yeah.
equally important to the triple crate dragon there to end it for Han. It really just shows the power of that card of Karis Nimic. Especially in Han 2, but in any red hero deck, Karis Nimic is an amazing card that can really give these control decks fits.
Yeah, it's just keeping another unit on board.
Yeah.
Immediately after, it's just makes it harder for them to keep up. If you can keep him on board somehow, even when he dies, we're around like a queen flip too. It just gives you that many more bodies to throw at the queen to absorb damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just all really good card.
So we now have our finals set. Our finals are going to be Han2 Blue with Micah Overly from Late Night and Blue Milk Gaming, who is going to be playing against Carlos Torres, aka Yoda Killer from the Bothan Network. So that's going to be a really exciting final. Han2 Blue Force against Cad Tarkentown.
Oh yeah,
and while the players get set up for that, we are going to go to a short break. So I am Jeff Creasy from the Bothan Network here with Bruce, and thank you all for hanging out. We'll be right back with the finals in a few minutes.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
And it's time for the finals here at the Elgin, Illinois PQ live here on Late Night Gaming. I'm Jordan from the Colorado Cantina crew, joined by Alex Krez from the aforementioned Late Night Gaming competitive team, as well as Blue Milk. Great day of games today. Excited to close it out tonight, Alex.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here. I've been running around like a bad man behind the scenes getting this going, so I'm really pumped. I'll do my unbiased take here, my teammate against Carlos here, but I'm really pumped. Yeah, Bruce, how are you feeling about this?
I'm excited. I'm a fan favorite of the Cad Tarkin Town. So against Hantu Blue Forest, it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, so we saw Micah really battle back in the back half of that Chancellor Palpatine match last round. We saw Carlos get a game loss for a deck check era, plowed through it, came back, just played in a non-favored matchup against Kira here in the finals. Two great players from two great teams. Excited to see how it plays out. We have Carlos mulliganing and Micah getting ready to resource. Alex, when we're looking at this, obviously the Tarkin Town meta overall is tough for Hantu Blue. Why is that?
Well, for those that aren't familiar with Hantu's ability, it puts 2 damage on the units, and that opens up the Tarkin Town in turn 1. Cad might not even need a ping. And we see, actually, we see I think Ogdo Bogdo in hand there for Micah. But we got the 3/5 Cassian to follow up with that, so let's see what we got here.
Yeah, so it looks like Micah gave Carlos the initiative, just completely past the turn in general. Probably trying to do some pass shenanigans. It is an issue with these one drop CAD builds where you're going to get pinged. It's just about when it's going to happen. Right. So now you have a situation where you can drop a 3/5. So I think you're in an okay spot. Oh, don't love showing that aggressive negotiations, but that's the challenge. That's why I mentioned it, is because, man, CAD can get off to such a good start in this type of environment.
Yeah, it would have been a little better for him to have a couple of 1-drops out there instead of just the one, but maybe it doesn't look like he had a good draw.
Yeah, then we see that stolen AT hauler come down. Really problem unit for a lot of decks to deal with, just because of that 5 HP, right, Alex?
Right, this 5 HP breakpoint is tough for the Hantu Blue, but we see an entrenched in Micah's hand there. And I will say, it's from the Hantu Blue side. I'm familiar with this matchup, and I will say I would absolutely take a single 3/1 in play with Tarkin Town still active over two 3/1s, and Tarkin Town being burned, like if he did play out his turn 1 unit there. So I'm totally in favor of the double pass for Micah there. Interesting that it goes base here and doesn't trade with the Stormtrooper. So that's an interesting call to me. I know Micah's a more aggressive player than me, so we'll see. I like it. He's got the cheer at Sentinels. Like, kind of makes sense. You can cheer it sometimes. Helps you turn the corner. You drop him down to the wall, and then suddenly you're gonna hit base a bunch of times. So yeah, this is might be a quick one compared to some of our other matches. We'll see.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's looking like it might start picking up here.
Yeah, and I think that's good for all of us. It's been a long day, but we have that stolen AT hauler push in a little bit harder. Then we get the entrenched onto Cassian. Interesting. Okay, he's saying you can Tarkin Town me, but I'm still going to be able to trade next turn, which I think is an interesting play line. Probably not as familiar as CAD players are used to seeing. Another hauler, though, getting extra familiar with that space unit and getting an extra ping on that Cassian, followed up by Grogu.
Yeah, I'm not sure I love the self-entrench there, because I feel like you want to stop these haulers. That's one of the best ways. Because I don't know if CAD even has many upgrade hate, if at all, right? Maybe you can. It's on underworld units. You can't McClunky it back to hand. So, yeah, I will see about that entrenched. But the Grogu will be nice, but it's going to take way too long for those Grogus to start hitting the 4/5s, right? Only 2 damage a turn.
Yeah.
So,
the hauler is an underworld unit, but I think what they're probably looking for here for any sort of upgrade removal is the bamboozle, which is more like returnal, right? Return service to an entrenched going somewhere else. So probably not going to see that, but it's probably a punishing line once the second hauler came out. Then it becomes a different calculus, I think.
Right. I think in my mind, Micah's playing around the 4-lom there, because the 3/1 casting or 3/4 casting is pretty vulnerable to a 4-lom ambush.
Mm-hmm.
So on second thought, I don't hate the trench line, but like you just said, the second hauler really makes it difficult for Micah. So let's see, but at least that Grogu can attack into the 3/1 and get the force and clear the board, put that unit off the board. But we'll see. Yeah, I think I'm really curious to see how this goes because I know in our testing, leading up to this, I personally did not do much CAD target down testing. Not sure about Micah, but that's going to change this week, no matter how this match goes, because
Yeah,
he
Tarkin
seems
Town
to be
definitely a
back.
rising force. See the criminal
I love-
muscle coming down and defeating the entrenched. Great play, great, or just returning to hand, excuse me, which is
Ooh,
similar to the bamboozle here. And then we do get the Tarkin Town on Cassian.
That's
Still got some
interesting.
okay.
callers in space.
Ooh, a double fell draw there is not great for Micah. You might want to see one of those later against like a Zuckus, 6/6, but not helping any of these units on board. All right, let's see what we got here. I mean, if I'm a Han player, I'm starting to sweat a little bit for this game. With a lone Grogu against the masses here, and personally, I think you attack into one of the 3/1s, but I guess he's setting up the Anakin proc here, but it's
Yeah.
kind of telegraphed, right? Because now Carlos can just swing, and there's not stopping any damage. So I don't know if Micah can afford to take. What is that? 10 more damage on board right now.
I'm
So I
unsure though what
wonder.
his alternatives are, right? I understand wanting to
Yeah.
save 2 or 3, but in the long term, I think, you do need to get those haulers off the board. And, whether it's Anakin or something else, you need to start being
Mm.
able to fight as opposed to just defend, right?
Oh, absolutely. And so, yeah, I think I almost like, here he could, if he, the thing is, if he attacked with Grogu to clear one of the weenies, he would have the Force, be
Yeah.
able to cheat out the cheer as a 3/3 with the Force and entrench the other hauler. So,
Yeah,
um,
it's interesting.
I think that's what he's got to do here is Hantu Blue. Is just at this point, it's to stem the damage. You got to get as healthy as you can because there's, the only heal he's got is the itinerant warriors and the Lukes, and I don't see him in hand right now. So,
Yeah, the lack of force is definitely problematic here as we see Han clear that criminal muscle. But the answers that you have cross arena really are like Mace Windu, really are like,
mm,
healing to race with itinerant. We do see that Anakin coming down, clearing that hauler, like we mentioned, but
yeah.
damage has been done. Mike is sitting at 21. Zuckus, Stormtrooper, and hauler on the board. I'm not sure if there's a way you could deal with all of them.
I don't think so. Just that double hauler, I think, is exactly what Carlos wants in this matchup. Because if he wants a quick tip against Hantu Blue, those haulers are top worst card in the game. Don't want to see against either playing Ham on green or now CAD running them. I actually didn't realize it's Underworld, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
And might be going to a game 2 here, folks.
Looks like it because even playing Churret, Zuckus goes just straight through. Any sort of buff there happens as well.
Oh, Blaster,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe he has to fell the Zuckus, but then he's still dead to surprise strike or.
There's
And he
also
didn't really
cat
play the
force turn.
hauler. I don't know if he forgot or if it's just like maybe I don't know if he had to claim. I can't remember the
He did have
sequencing
to
here,
claim, but it's after Zuckus, he had to claim. But also, there's an argument to just wanting it off the board. And there's a surprise strike
there's
that'll seal game 1. And
That's it.
we're going into a game 2 where Micah really needs to adjust that opening window because that's really what this Tarkin Town deck does. It stops you from getting into your flow, and when your flow includes
Right.
getting the Force, it's a real big challenge, right, Bruce?
Absolutely, 100%. And the last couple games, the last matchup we saw, that was definitely Palpatine's focus was keeping the Force at a minimum so he couldn't utilize it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
does
well,
look
it's
like
sideboards.
yeah, I see a
Absolutely.
Galen sideboard. Does that sound right to you, Alex?
There
Yeah.
is one Galen, so I could turn
Yeah.
off Truck in Town. I'm sure Nemix are gonna be great to bring in here. And probably the constables. If I'm probably cutting all my 9 drops against CAD.
Yeah, so I'm dropping
And bringing
Crate.
in. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna live to be able to drop a 9 drop if
Yeah, no.
it's kind of like, yeah, my philosophy is like it can be nice to have like a Bo-Katan, but the situation, the theory only goes so far. So,
Are we
but
gonna get there?
let's look at Yoda Killer's sideboard. He's got a lot of gas there. The 2 Lurking Type Phantoms could be a problem. Probably not, just because all the -2, -3s in the Han deck. But the Sneak Attack Devastators might be able to come in the CAD, the 3rd CAD unit. So
Yeah,
it's
we
just a 1
watched
of
that
CAD.
earlier.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think main deck that Carlos isn't playing any CAD units. Could really
You're
go in
right.
with a little bit more low to the ground build, but part of that trade-off is that lets him play Punishing One, it lets him play the stolen AT haulers, and it's a little bit of a new flavor for these CAD builds. And overall, like, I think it's really nice. I really enjoy it. And over at the Colorado Cantina crew, we always give Carlos and Sharky a hard time because they're always working, they're always plugging away, and I think that's what this sort of deck mastery shows in this type of tournament, where you don't really expect it to be dominant, but they have lines that are very challenging. I would imagine they play they bring the devs in, trying to get those out early with the sneak attack and push damage. The 25 health bases always get that bad rap for being 25 health bases, but in reality 28 is really not that different.
No, not too far off.
That's why I always joke, I wish there was a forced data vault version, because not only will it make my deck building easier, but then have that extra HP.
Yeah,
would be real
that
nice,
sounds really
'cause-
well balanced and fun for everybody involved. Appreciate the suggestion.
It'd be a blast.
Yeah, no. Hire me, MFG. I'm an expert game designer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
we got we're shuffling up game 2.
As we wait here, I want you to kind of walk through that double pass situation, because it's not necessarily as self-evident as it might be. I feel the same way. As we were getting ready for Worlds, I was playing Hantu Blue, and my teammate Kyle Craft, who was on stream earlier, also, we were having these conversations about what the best outcome is here. And explain why you think it is what Micah went through with that double pass.
Yeah, the thought process that I have is that the worst case scenario that I want to avoid is CAD having 2 3-1s or 2-3 and a 3-1 on board, and then Han having nothing on board. And obviously Talker will be burned, but to me that amount of push damage it can push is just it's hard to come back from. So, and my ideal situation is dropping a Grogu or passing into a Grogu or a Marin. I think those are the 2 MVP cards for turn 2, either a full health Grogu or full health Marin on turn 2. To me is great. So let me know if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. And I think, Secretive Sage, back when that was being played more often, was also a fair option to start with. But it really is trying to just avoid that worst case scenario, as you put it, right? They have 2, you have none, bad for you. They have 1, slightly less bad for you, right? These are the caveman math that we like to do, right?
Yeah, so that's where if you follow my streams on Blue Mode Gaming, I've been really happy with the 3rd Marin. I know Micah's on 2, which definitely hurts this matchup but the kind of the flex spot there's that by only having the 2 Marins, he's on the 2 aggressive negotiations, which there's that kind of anti-synergy between the 2 cards, obviously with the discard and the cards in hand buff. So
Right.
well, you don't have to straight up choose between the 2. Personally, I haven't missed having aggressive negotiations, but we saw in the last match that closed out his game 2 against the Palpatine. So
Yeah, really took it down.
it's
he does
tough,
have Grogu now.
Yep, the Grogu, I think it's like double Grogu. So actually, and a Marin, and a Force Lightning.
Wow.
Plus Anakin, plus Poe. So this is a really, really good start. And
but with the cards he has in hand, I think the line, in my opinion, has to be lead Grogu, let it get Tarkin Town, slam your Marin, and then you can 2-for-1 the weenies, hopefully. But we'll see here. And yeah, I didn't see what's in Carlos's hand, but is he still shuffling up, or is that?
Yeah, he's still shuffling and thinking about sideboard stuff, I believe.
Okay. So we got some time, but yeah, I think it's a very, very interesting dynamic, the double passings. I played 2 CAD Tarkentown in the Portland sector qualifier back in October, and obviously in last set 5. And I know one opponent was not ready for the double pass. Like, he wasn't prepared, and one of the games, plays 2 units down and let me play a Grogu without Tarkentown ping. So that I won the game almost on the spot after that. So this early turns to me are so crucial. And it's true of a lot of games with Stars Unlimited that your early turns are crucial. Just every action and every sequence is so important. I love the game. I don't know about you guys, but I love that part of the game.
Oh, Mike has got to be a little. It's 2 cards in a row he dropped last game. So yeah, I think Mike is really still thinking here. He's deep in thought. I'm gonna bet that he's putting down the Anakin. That's what he's doing. He's putting back the Anakin and the Force Lightning, basically saying, I want to keep 2 Grogus to absorb pings potentially, and I also am not worried about the Anakin double proc. What's your take on that, Alex?
I'll be candid. I don't fully agree, because I think with the Marin in hand, if you can get that double, it's a 3-card combo that our teammate Carlos is not high on because it can be inconsistent, but getting it off, it can be just game winning on the on the 5 resource turning that double proc. Like if he plays that, it can kill one of those haulers like we talked about. Wouldn't take 2 actions like the Grogu's we had to last round, or last game. So yeah, we'll see. I obviously could eat my words shortly here if Micah takes this game. So I'm curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah, what do you think, Bruce?
Honestly, it's tough. I'm not the Hantu professional, or professional by any means. Problem is, I naturally side with the Cad Tarkin town.
Wow, biased commentary here.
I know. It's a problem.
Yeah, so we get that stormtrooper played, Grogu cheated out, and then
But,
do we have a second one drop to follow up here? And we
and
do.
we do. But
Ooh,
based
so
off
double
that starting hand,
3-1s.
though, yeah, it is still going to be kind of tough. But he does get rid of it.
I really hope he kept that Marin. I know Micah, he's a big fan of her personally, so I think
I think
saw
he
it in
just
hands.
stopped
This is
back
where,
to Marin.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
he has 2 of them. No, that's a mace. Excuse me. They look similar.
So he
There's
kept the
no
Poe.
mace.
Interesting, they kept the Poe and second Grogu over the Force Lightning and the Anakin. But that's what I love about this deck and any deck in Star Wars Unlimited, that you can have a completely different deck. You can play different. The play different style is different. Players all have their own play style. So, I feel like I'm like 3,000 games in with the deck, and it's still fresh because each game can be different.
And I think part of me is just thinking, wow, the Cad Weenie deck is so susceptible to that double proc with Anakin that maybe that's the sucker play. Maybe that's just the one you see first and you say, I want to do it. And we'll see how that plays out here. Thinking that we're going to get just a Marin played, right? I think Grogu might be a little bit slow at this point. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah,
It is the Marin.
I think Carlos is probably thinking, or Mike is probably thinking, excuse me, if that Greedo attacks in and gets the Greedo when defeated, that's the worst case scenario here, I think.
Yeah.
So, but you probably just thought about whether we can pass here. I think you just slam it, and yep, there you go. Yep. So I think is that a waylay or surprise strike in the hand of? There's the waylay.
Yeah,
That's
waylay.
unfortunate.
That's pretty backbreaking there.
Ooh.
That's tough.
So, yeah, this is where Poach me is just too slow. Yeah, and now Marin is a threat to get, and Marin and Itinerant Warrior can just get killed by the 4-LOM ambush with the ping, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be tough. Like it's the way it's chalking up. It's Carlos is getting the exact counters to Micah's lines so far, but it's way too early.
Yeah, it looked like the hand we wanted to see, right?
Yeah.
If Carlos he didn't have a second one drop in that hand, then which you're not guaranteed to get by any means, right? Even I don't know exactly how many ones he has, but
I think it was 15.
This is
right.
This is a tough one. I honestly think you might have to lead the Grogu here because of the hidden, like cheat out the Grogu, or even just play it at full health. But that's can you get the Force? You can heal with that 10 right next turn. Not great, but I feel like you really got to play around the 4-LOM here, as everyone we know since set 2, right?
If you're asking yourself, do they have it? They always do. And then the question also is like, I don't think it's tough because you're already at 6 and you're probably going to take 6 more this turn. But I don't think you can play for this turn. I think you need to play to set up future turns because you're so far behind now with first that double 1 drop with the ping and Tarkin down, then followed up by Waylay. I feel like you gotta worry about the long term as opposed to what's going to happen instantly, but maybe that won't even be enough.
Yeah, as he piles up,
Our feed's getting a little choppy here, but
yeah, a little bit.
We'll get back shortly. But it looks like it might have passed, so you get a swing with the Stormtroopers. Makes sense, great sequencing by Carlos, not swing with the Greedo first, because Greedo has the higher ceiling of the when defeated to possibly trade up.
Totally.
The looming threat of Greedo. Everyone, I'm sure, who's played this game, the the Rhodian who can ruin your day with that discard off the top of your deck. So this is a tough one. And Jordan, what are you playing here if you're Han? Are you playing there he goes for the Grogu, full health, like I was saying.
I think it's Grogu just to stick a unit. I think your path to this is inch by inch, bird by bird, as they say on Ted Lasso, not
Yeah.
all at once. And I think playing all at once against Cat is how you fall even deeper into that hole, right?
Ooh, and we see a hauler, which yeah, this is gonna be tough. Far from over, because you can get the force back with the heal 3 from itinerant. He draws in looks like an Ezra and something else. It's like Kiadi maybe, but yeah, that waylay is just brutal. Like the great line by Carlos.
Absolutely, especially with that start. So I think, does the move here take out Greedo or take out the Stormtrooper?
I think it has to be the Greedo. It doesn't really matter. I think it's the Greedo because you don't really mind if the 2 more damage gets on your Grogu at that point. So
Yeah, not in this situation at least, right?
is that a moral authority actually? Is that in his list? Wait. I know Kyle Kraft. Shout out to Kyle. He's been running that card.
Yeah, we love that at the Cantina crew.
I don't think that's in Micah's list though. I must be I can't. I'm just
I think that was just Kiadi.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking here because moral authority actually would be great to capture that 4/5 with the Grogu. But see, checks his row, and this is where if he'd gone for the line we talked about, keeping the Anakin and the foresighting, he never would have gotten it discarded. So it would have been a dead card in hand right now. So 'cause I don't think you can afford to spend 4 resources here just to kill a Greedo with the foresighting. Theoretically, if he still had it, right? And
He takes the
I think
takes the damage.
Yep. So if Han really needs like an entrenched here, it's either stop the 4/5 or I think worst case scenario for Han, you got to be thinking about the Zuckuss. As a 6/6 saboteur. I don't think I see an entrenched in Micah's hand, but looks like he's going to cheat out the Marin, his other card. And yeah, Cat
Han
64
and as well. Flips now after taking 4 from that hauler up to 16 on base. Garinden coming down. What's the call gonna be?
I don't know what he called, but we'll see if he discards anything. That's like Poke, Yadi, aggressive negotiations, and Marin here. And aggressive negotiations might be able to help him trade up into CAD leader and threaten the kill and flip. He called the Marin. I guess he knew he had the Marin right from the bounce. So
great that's call. The only bit of information he had, right? So he had to if he had to make a blind guess, I guess that could make sense that it's that.
Yeah, and if you're here, that could be worse, in my opinion. Like playing 2 resources just to pop the card from his hand. It's only a 1/3. It's not a Zuckuss coming down. So if I'm Han, I'm taking a small sigh of relief, but he's not out of the woods yet. And tough call here. I think you got to kill the Greedo, no question.
Well, if you don't kill Garinden, you're opened up to the McClunky stuff, and I think you just lose the game if that happens. So I think you got to take the Garinden out.
I suppose. He's got the Reckless Gunslinger there. So
much damage on his base.
Yeah, you can play 24 more of those.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So Micah did battle back to build a pretty nice board here, right? We have the Han, Grogu, and a shielded and cheated out itinerant warrior. Could be better, could also be worse.
Yeah, he really needs to see an entrenched. He's like entrenched or a cheer. He's not seeing the cards he needs. And gets sort of the Yaddle, which I probably would keep over the Kiadi because you need that. At this point, I always think when my health is getting high, you gotta count how many restore cards you have in the deck, and that's even though it's not an instant restore, Yaddle is still at least presenting, the potential restore in the future, right?
Yeah. I do wonder if this is the penultimate turn of the game, if things go Yoda Killer's way here on CAD with how aggressive this deck is. I wouldn't be surprised to see a combination of Sudden Frosty and or Hot Shot Blaster presenting 9 on base. Obviously, Micah will have something to say about that. Taking 3 off the board with Greedo.
Carlos's hand, I struggle to see way back from this. Like you really needed like a Luke this turn or a Cheer It, like I was saying, or Cheer It plus Entrench would actually be my ideal hand here. Since there's no way to make Cad Bane Saboteur. So
yeah. And for what it's worth, that line that we spoke about with Marin and Force Lightning wouldn't have actually been an option in reality. right? Like he wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to attack. So in no means is that anything to do with that, right?
Yep. So let's see here. Yep, this is I feel like you guys take out the 2-1, even though it feels bad to trade, like, or hold the swing. I know he wants the force, but I think he needs. I think honestly, in hindsight, you swim with Grogu. You sequence it to get the force, so you can then play the Kiadi and the aggressive negotiations. Cheat out the Kiadi, and the aggressive negotiations on Han could kill the CAD leader on
But
pawn
I
flip.
do think he has the force.
He does.
Yeah,
but now he's an action short if CAD
yeah.
flips here. So, so these games are really tight. This game, you know, these sequencing, you have to not only, it's such a great game, I love it, because you not only have to decide what action to take on your turns, but what sequence, right? And react to your opponents. Here's the flip for CAD.
You have a CAD flip.
And
we're going to see
Grindin.
Oh, and a sudden ferocity.
That's
tough. That's going to seal it, folks. I think he's going to take out the aggressive negotiations, but even that, I don't think he has enough cards to make for Beast, you know. I think he had to play the Kiadi, swing with the Grogu, play the Kiadi, draw 2 cards, and then even then he still loses to the Grindin calling aggressive negotiations. So I had a Grindin card. I'm not a fan personally. I'd be on the receiving end of it.
And the sudden ferocity here, very strong with the flexibility, could go basically anywhere. I think that's probably what he's deciding right now. And what's the most painful card that can happen this turn?
I call it too soon on my teammate here, but knowing these games, because if he had drawn 2 more cards, then the Tenor Warrior would have been a +4 with aggressive negotiations for 8 swing. So, but like I said, that line gets blown up by the Grindin. So
the call must have been Shurit or Luke or something like that.
Yeah.
It goes on to CAD with the proof that he is safe. CAD's gonna swing in for 6-7.
Ooh, and that's gonna be
the handshake extended. Carlos takes down the PQ, his first PQ win, I believe. You know, in the Colorado Cantina Crew Discord, you were saying it's his first time making top 4, playing with house money. Came back from that penalty at the start of the top cut and made his first PQ win. So shout out Carlos, shout out Micah for a great effort and a great run heading into the finals here. We saw him really battle against that Palpatine in the previous round and just ran into a situation where the tempo wasn't on his side. That waylay on Marin was really brutal in game 2. Excellently played by Carlos and just great stuff overall.
Welcome to Cabinet Parking Town, everybody.
Yeah. Shout out Yoda Killer. If you guys don't know, he has his own YouTube channel and he started this series a series of videos about CAD, and I know him and Sharky have been collaborating on that series. It's a great series. Definitely check it out. We can pop a link in the chat.
We love it.
But congratulations, Carlos. Notably, I will say this is the I'll have to point out this is the first Illinois PQ won by an Illinois resident, actually.
What a coincidence, too, right? Because the Bears beat the Packers yesterday. So, like, things are going really well for the Chicagoans. So, good stuff overall. And, again, just great effort by everybody today, whether that's Alex Krez setting up the alternate stream, Loopee, Rebel Traitor pressing all the buttons. He's really the unsung hero here, pressing everything to make everything possible. So, give him a good kudos. Go check out the Take the Initiative YouTube and Discord. And overall, man, great day of coverage. Really a pleasure to be a part of it. Again, I'm Jordan from the Colorado Cantina Crew. Shout out to Jeff, Kyle, Bruce, and the rest of the gang who joined the stream today. Everybody else, we'll see you for the next PQ. Until next time, guys, stick with us.
Thanks for tuning in.